go do that, simply because depending on what is called out, I may be using a different asset, or I may be calling a different type of ordnance onto it, and also just kind of letting maybe 1.4 deal with it rather than potentially, in quotation marks, wasting an AGM on it or a Mark 82. I've talked a lot. Any questions so far?
Suggestions for telling the differences between the T72, T80, and T90?
Yeah, there are a few.
It's hard because, and if you end up taking the the Phantom exam, there's a couple of cases where it could be one or two. It could be a T80 or T90, depending on like the updates and the modifications that have been done. Knockout doesn't count because he's Bulgarian and he's got plenty of experience.
We either use them or we have seen them. That's,
yeah.
how it works.
I struggled that in one of the questions because it was a T80, but it had like the same explosive reactor kit set up as a T90 or stuff like that. So I just recommend having a good look. And something to note is if you use the Reaper drone and you identify the up for vehicle on the ground, if you lock it, it typically gives you the type of vehicle it is automatically. Oh, okay. I don't know if it works with the data. I'm not 100% sure, but certainly with the Reaper, you've got that information given to you automatically.
The Reaper drone?
Yep.
Oh.
So if you send it up later, knockout.
Actually, I didn't even know that. That's extremely useful.
Yep. So, but other than that, highly recommend you looking at the back of the turret otherwise to distinguish between the 80 and 90. Simply because, the reason I know this is I literally just went back and checked the up4 ID page just before this. Or 82, depending on the platoon. And then 160 or 310 will be my least priority communication channel, just because it's something that can probably wait like 10 seconds while I conduct the strike. So just, keep in mind that all of that is needed to have in the ears, but you should always prioritize the communications going on. And finally, I wrote down own the control. What I mean by that is ultimately, as the TAC-P or JTAC, you own the strike. You own basically any kind of artillery strike, even though the Reaper, the Demon, the Savage has got some responsibility. It's on you ultimately to call and clear the fire mission or the strike. So if there's anything wrong with it, if you see a civilian, make sure that you abort it. Feel like you have to communicate that. It's not just like, there's something that might be wrong here, or I think I've got a digit wrong, or this, it's moved 30 meters. The BMD has moved 30 meters in the meantime. Just make sure that you abort the strike or the fire mission. It's on you to own that, and you have to speak up. you can't just let it pass. So the TAC B roll is definitely going to be something where you're going to be talking a lot, and you should, feel okay to have the responsibility to do that. Any questions? Nope. All right. So that's for the communication bit. For the gear, so again, as I said, it's subjective. Ultimately, you're gonna adapt it to however you want it. But the 3 key pieces of kit, or maybe even 4 key pieces of kit you should have, are the Vector 21 night, so that it has the night vision capability. The reason why this is important is, well, one, it's a binocular, so it's going to give you a better vision of any strike or fire mission coming in, and also, and most importantly, combined with the micro dagger GPS, which will be a second bit of kit which you should always carry. It will be able to give you accurate 10-digit grids, which are necessary for the most accurate strikes and fire missions. Anybody not used the Vector 21 before? Everybody's used it? Alright. If you open up the micro dagger, which you can figure out in the add-ons how to do, I think it's in configure add-ons in controls, but it might be in the common one. Once you do that, if you open it up, and if you guys have it, please do so now. You should see the initial page should have like the factory symbol top right, the time top middle, MGRS new top left, and then you've got your 10-digit grid and the elevation you're at. Yeah, if anybody doesn't have it, go grab it. If you open it up, you just have the regular page. At the bottom left, you should just have the like little arrow symbol. That's the page you should be on, and you've got the date in kind of the lower middle with the time. If you click on the time at the very top, while you are, I mean, it'll work here, but if you have the Vector 21 enabled, equipped, you should have, if you click connect to, it will then automatically connect to the Vector 21. Any questions on this? This is important. This is like, for any close air support mission, this is extremely important. So if you've got questions or concerns, let me know. Nope. Okay. So once you've got that enabled, you should see if you move around with the binoculars, or even without the binoculars, you should see the direction azimuth change. And then if you take, for example, the little building bearing 259 from our position, other side of the runway, and you go into the binoculars and you hold tab R at the same time until there's a red kind of square that appears around the circle in the middle. That will give you the bearing from your position and the range on the right hand side, and more importantly, it will give you the 10-digit in your micro dagger at the bottom. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, it's cool actually. It's very cool.
It is.
Makes Savage a whole lot easier too.
It does, yeah.
What do you press again to set it?
You press tab and R at the same time, and you hold them down until a red square appear around the circle in the middle.
Okay.
And then you should have 2 numbers in red appear, one left of the circle and one right. Left is the direction or azimuth, and the right one is the range.
Okay, I see that.
Alright, cool. And then in the micro dagger, if you have it pulled up, or if you pull it up, you should now have, if you connected it to the binoculars, you should now have the 10-digit grid at the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Make sure, and I cannot repeat this enough, make sure that you use the 10-digit grid at the bottom of the micro dagger when you call a strike.
Yeah.
Do not.
Oh no!
Don't call on his step now.
Yeah.
Just thinking about, man.
Everybody laughs. and everybody knows, but it has happened in the past that several JTACs have called strikes on their own position and destroyed the command element and or most of the platoon.
And that's
else,
why
dude? You wanna
1-6
go out with a
isn't
bang?
allowed to call in fire missions anymore.
So yeah. So that's for that piece of kit, the vector. If you press N while you're in it, it will also go into night vision mode. It's really useful, obviously, particularly as, if I remember correctly, it doesn't have the same grain effect as the binos, the NVGs, but that's it for the vector. Make sure you also redo the tab R thing. Tab R for every strike, otherwise the 10-digit will not change.
And confirm that it has changed, because there's been a few times where I've done the tab R and it's gone all through right, but it doesn't sync up.
Yeah, feel free to like try it twice or 3 times even before you call the strike. It's really fast, so it shouldn't be an issue. Makes sense for everybody?
Yep.
Yep. Alright. So, micro dagger, make sure you have it in your kit. Extremely useful and needed for this role. The other kind of like the compass and the map on the micro dagger you can use a little bit, particularly the compass when you're calling in strikes, but to be honest I don't use it that much because the other options I don't use it that much because I typically have the the mini GPS on the left hand side of my screen, so I can tell which direction I'm facing, and also if I know a strike's coming in from the southeast to northwest, I can look in the right direction quickly without checking my compass or the micro dagger. But that's personal preference. Alright, laser designator, third piece of kit you should always have, because if you are guiding in a laser guided munition, you will need it. So if I put the micro dagger down and grab the laser des, alright. So if you guys can grab one to have it, I mean, you don't necessarily majorly need it, but just so that you know how to use it. By default,
All I can say about the laser designator is make sure you turn it off after you don't need it.
Yep, definitely going to cover that. And I'm also going to cover something else which I learned about only relatively recently, which may be able to stop that from happening.
How do you build your JTAC kit then? Since the vector and the laser designator take up the same slot.
Yep. So I typically grab the laser designator first, then put it in my backpack, and then I carry the vector in the binocular slot. And then if you save the kit, it will save the laser designator.
It'll save it like that. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it like how you do 6 actual. I have to have both a UAV terminal and a rocket tapper usually, so I just grab both.
Yeah, exactly. In your backpack, you'll be carrying quite a lot. In this kit, I'm carrying just over 40 kilos of kit.
Wow. Okay.
So I am actually quite heavy as a TAC P right now. That's also because I've got some flares, some red smoke rounds, grenade launchers, and some Hunt IR, and a Hunt IR monitor, and a thermal imaging device, which I'll talk about afterwards.
Okay.
Damn, I'm going light. It's only 29.
Yeah, you can definitely run it with like 25 to 35. I'm just I like to carry a lot. Alright, mostly because I'm not really doing any combat, so I can run around. So laser designator, pretty straightforward. 5 to 25 zoom. It's got night vision mode. If you press the left click button as if you're shooting, the left mouse button, it should, and I say should because mine's not turning on, the range should come up. So you're turning on the laser designator and the range should pop up at the top. You guys see that?
Yeah.
For some reason. Mine's not working. You should also have the designation, like a little red laser mode at the top.
Yep.
Alright. For some reason mine's not popping up. Let me see if I can grab it. Alright, make sure, so when you're laser designating a target, make sure if at all possible you laze the turret if it has one. Or if you're above it, kind of laze the top of the vehicle, simply because the missile or the bomb, if it's coming from the opposite direction that you're at, if you're lasing the wrong side, it will not be able to lock onto it. So turret or top of the vehicle as much as possible, otherwise the sides, and just always kind of keep in mind that, you know, if the missile's coming from behind you, that's fine. If the missile's coming from, for any reason, you know, from the side or from, you know, your 12 o'clock, you make sure you laze the top of the target, because otherwise if you laze your side, it's not going to be able to lock onto the laser. Make sense? Alright, now back to the question that was posed. Yeah, it works. Lovely. By Wolf around, make sure you turn off your laser. Make sure you do that. So once you've lased the target and it, you know, the ordnance is hit, make sure you turn it off immediately, because you know, another TAC maybe, or even a demon with a laser, may be lasing another target already. If you've got multiple lasers up and running, then the ordnance can get confused and hit something that's already been hit. Okay? So as soon as you finish with your laser designator, you turn off the laser and you stow it.
Thought I turned that off.
Nice one. Any questions about the laser designator? There's one final thing I want to show you, which I've never actually used myself in the lib server, but because I only found out about this like 2 days ago. And Avery might know. Yep, go ahead.
Is there any way to change the code for the laser designator?
And that's literally what I was going to touch on.
Never mind that.
So I only found this out by digging a little bit yesterday. Because another JTAC had sent me some playthroughs that mentioned it. But you can actually change your laser code in the laser designator. So for me, by default, it's Control Alt A and E, because I'm on a French keyboard. But for you guys, it should be Q and E, I believe. So if you're inside the binoculars, you've got the laser, well actually even without the laser on, I think, yeah. You can change the code at the bottom. And it goes quadruple 1 to to 319, I believe. Or 8, sorry. It goes 1 through 8 each time. And then it goes up to 1211, 1212, etc, etc. So you can change the laser code, so potentially, but I've never tried this, it's something I will have to try in the training server. You could potentially have multiple lasers up with different laser codes for different ordnance. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
That does.
How do you do it in a drone though? It's the real question.
I don't know if you can do it by the drone. It should always be
You
the
should
same.
be able to, because it also has the same designator.
Oh, you mean the Reaper? Yeah, the Reaper.
Yeah, the Reaper drone.
Your Reaper, you can definitely do it. I was playing some single player yesterday, and you could do that. But the more important thing is, if you can do it with a laser designator, you need to make sure that whichever asset you're using to conduct a strike, whether that's fixed wing or rotary wing, also changes their laser code to the correct one. Okay.
Runs.
Line 7 or?
Yep, exactly. Or you could always add it also in the remarks and restrictions, but typically it would be on the line 7 of the 9 line. Just need to check the time, because... Alright, 30 minutes, that's not too bad. Alright, so yeah, just make sure you're carrying at least the vector, the micro dagger, and the laser designator. Personally, I also carry a C-tab on my wrist. I don't carry the full tablet. Sorry, I carry the Android C-tab, not the full tablet C-tab, simply because it's way too heavy. And I don't necessarily need to look at people's cameras and stuff. I just need to understand where everybody is. And it takes one less slot. So I carry the Android, and then depending on where we're at, I might carry the thermal imaging device, so the MX2A. I usually have it in my pack. I can always take it out if I want to. So this one, simply because it can allow me to identify some targets a lot faster than just naked eye. But it's not, I'd say it's kind of like 50% of the time useful, maybe even 35% of the time. The rest of the time I don't really use it. Final piece of kit I will mention is the Hunt IR monitor. Now, not many people run with Hunt IRs anymore, at least. Certainly in MSKE I didn't see it that commonly, but it can be quite useful to have if you lob one of these up. So, go. You do that, and you've got a little parachute. Where is it? There we go. Straight up above your heads. It basically gives you, if you got the Hunt IR monitor, you can go to self-interact equipment or more equipment, and then activate Hunt IR monitor. It should connect to the Hunt IR. Make sure you only have one up at a time, because it's only going to connect to the latest one you've sent up. And then once you're up there, if I remember correctly, it's what? There's buttons. I can't remember what controls are to move it. Yeah, that's it. It's A and D for you guys. I've got a different keyboard, so I think it's Q and D for me. But yeah. Oh no, sorry. It's the actual arrows keyboard on the keyboard. You can use to kind of look up, look around. And if you've got the enhanced turret mod, I believe you can also move into thermal. Oh no, it's only night vision. But yeah, so that can be really useful. I only carry like 4 in my default kit. I think I carry like 10 in my secondary kind of more grenadier focused JTAC kit, where it's really useful to do some ISR. Again, you know, it kind of depends on, it's only going to give you kind of line of sight around maybe 200-300 meters of the platoon, and you can only send it as far as the GL under here, which I think the maximum range is 350. 250 on the on this long one, M203, so I think the M320s go up to like 400 or 450, but yeah, just something to think about in your kit. It's heavy, Hunt IR monitor, it's annoying, but if you think it can be useful because there's no ISR asset up, so there's no, you know, there's no Demon, there's no Stalker, there's no Reaper, or there's no even MQ9 drone up, that's some kind of basic ISR you can have that can spot targets. Questions?
You just launch it straight up, or you launch it at an angle?
I launch it at a slight angle. Straight up would mean like there's stuff literally all around us,
Yeah.
which is not the best. But obviously 250 meters isn't very much, so I kind of launch it at maybe kind of 75-80 degree angle.
Okay.
Just because it gives maximum flight time. Because if you launch it kind of 300 meters in front, it's just going to be flat and only up for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So
And you access the Hunt IR round like on the Ace Interact? Is that how you use the Hunt IR monitor?
Yeah, yep. Ace
Okay,
interact
okay.
and then activate Hunt IR monitor, but you have to have it.
Right. Okay.
That's interesting. I've never actually used those before, so I'm gonna practice around with those. See how good
Yeah,
they
it
are.
can be. I carry a few just because it can be. Even if you've got Reaper or Demon up in the air, you know, if you need some really close to the platoon ISR, you just lob one up and you can spot some stuff. I thought it had thermal on it, but maybe that's a mod I was using in single player. So as far as I can tell, in this server, you can't.
No, I
It's
only
only
have
got
night vision.
night vision. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for the weight, if you don't have much else in your kit, I recommend it. Finally, I typically carry, because I'm already carrying the GL, the M203 underneath, I'm carrying a few HEDP grenade rounds, I think 10 or 12, yeah, 10 or 12. I have a few flare rounds, simply because most of the time the platoon's forgotten them, so, if I've...
Yeah, I know that one.
So, yeah, it just helps out the platoon. It doesn't take too much space. I carry 3, I think I carry 6. Yeah, I carry 6. So it gives, if shit hits the fan, you can lob a few and 1-4 can lay down some fire stuff for people can move over. Or see a DMP or BMD that's approached the platoon. I also carry, I've used it only a couple of times now, and I've only been using it recently because they've added a mod for it, but there are smoke rounds. So I carry 5 smoke rounds because it's good to mark like the target, an enemy target or enemy direction anyway, or strikes. So if you need, if you want like a general box or kill box engaged and not like a specific coordinate or entity, you can mark it with smoke. It doesn't bounce too much. Well, actually, this one bounced quite a lot. But I think in the main server, they've just introduced a mod during MSKE, which like limits the amount of bounce on it. So I've used it twice in MSKE, I think, to kind of guide a strike. But I only carry red ones to designate enemy locations. I don't carry anything launched by the GL anyway to mark my own position.
Okay, I was carrying some green smokes for me, and then I hadn't thought about the red ones. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Cool.
So for the GL ones, for the regular smokes, so I carry 2 greens, just if needed to mark my own location or potentially an LZ, but typically my own location with the 2 green smoke grenades. I carry 2 purple smokes to mark LZs. I carry 4 high blue chem lights and 7 high green. I typically use the greens for the LZs, and then the blues to kind of mark my own location potentially. So if I'm in a building or something like that, I'll throw it out. But it's up to you to kind of test out what works for you. I've never really used the blue ones much. I think I've only used them like twice in MSKE. The green ones though I use all the time, so make sure you carry chem lights, particularly to mark the LZs at night. And that's kind of my gear, more or less. The rest is pretty standard. Map tools can be useful for 9 lines, but I don't really use them that much, it takes too long. Cable ties, a couple of them, because sometimes, I'm not really in the combat, so I might be the one bringing the prisoner to the LZ or to the helicopter. IR coordinate, yeah, no, I don't really use those. And yeah, humanitarian rations, I typically carry 1 or 2, just because most people forget. So, and I'm a big fan of trying to keep the civ rep as low as possible, which is counterintuitive to a JTAC and forward observer, but I do what I can. Any questions on the gear? Anything you think I missed or you guys would use, which I didn't?
I actually use the simple map tools mod, and then I just leave the I don't even take the map tools.
Yep. No, definitely. I don't even use the map tools really. I could take it out. It's just if ever there's a need for me to do the full 9 line, which I rarely do, but if ever there is, then I would kind of use them for bearing and distance, but that's about it. Alright, so that's for gear. If you guys have any questions at any point, or you think of questions afterwards, feel free to DM me, by the way. But that's it for gear. Now, assets. So, yeah, we control fixed wing, rotary wing, and savage, so all artillery. Artillery's got, well, as of now anyway, the 81mm mortar, I think the M117 or M1117, I can't remember.
M777.
Okay, there we go.
Triple stone, yeah.
It's alright.
Big gun.
I haven't been online in like 3 or 4 weeks now, so I've forgotten. And then obviously the Paladin, which is the best of the best, and everybody will agree. Okay. So loadout of 81mm is just HE and smoke, and I think that's it. 777's got HE, smoke, and illusion rounds. Typically, I think it's a loadout. Actually, knockout was the
Keep in
loadout.
mind, 777 has GPS rounds, I believe.
GPS, rocket assist. I can't remember if they have CPU. I think they have CPU.
I think only the rocket assist and the CPU ones don't actually work though. Correct.
Okay.
I think so. The GPS ones I thought was only Paladin, but good to know the 8777
No,
also
it's
has a few.
777 as well.
Sweet. So those can be really useful. And then obviously, yeah, the Paladin's got just everything, including the GPS guided ones, which is great. The laser guided ones don't work, unfortunately. That would be great, but something to think about. But it should be more than enough. For Demon, I'm just going to talk, well, so the DAP has got typically, actually Abel, can you help me out here, because I don't know what the DAP loadout is. I can spawn it.
Well,
Yeah,
what you
let me
think?
spawn it. Let me spawn it and we can have a quick interactive look.
So the default loadout's the same here as they are in the lib.
Anyway, it looked like a complement of 17 hydras on each side. And then you had two M134s, so two Gatling guns as well. I don't know what the total number of rounds is in those, but that gives you a range of options. But you know, it's really kind of focused for medium armored vehicles down. It can probably engage a tank, but it's probably going to use up most of its ordnance to disable or destroy it.
Which aircraft are you talking about?
DAP?
That? It
Yeah.
has 19 APK WSs currently, which is laser guided hydras in total. It has M320 and two M134s. It can destroy up to a BMP/BMD, but I'd say past that, probably not.
Yeah, exactly. You might get a disability kill, maybe, on a tank, but it's definitely kind of medium armored and lower kind of focused aircraft.
That
Then
has
you've
its
got-
own laser, right?
Yes, it does.
yes,
it
it
has
does.
a
Okay.
FLIR, so it has its own laser.
Indeed.
Okay.
So it can be useful asset to buddy lays for something else, if needed. Longbow, I spawned it earlier, but it's got 4, at least on this server. I think on the MSKE one as well. It had 4 AGM-Ks, if I'm not mistaken, so laser guided heat. It has 39 hydras, 2 different types. APKWS, I think, and just I can't remember what the second one is.
So it has 4 AGM 114Ks and 4 AGM 114Ms. The Ks are, of course, laser guided anti-armor munitions. The Ns are anti-infantry or lighter softer targets.
Indeed.
It has 2 times 19 times unguided hydropods, which are kind of useless, but they're there. And it has the M320, which is just fucking god tier. The chain link.
And Abel loves to use it. I will let you know.
Which of the AGMs you said is anti-tank?
Okay.
The K. Okay.
I think it has Ks and Ms.
Yeah. So K is laser guided anti-tank or heat. N is thermal barrack anti-personnel. and then you've got lemurs who are radar guided, if I'm not mistaken. But really, the demon pilot or gunner will give you a rundown of what ordnance they have whenever they check in, which I'll cover a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you've got Reaper in typically an A10, and then maybe towards the end, certainly with MSKE, and my guess will be the case with Altus as well, just because it's so massive and it's going to take us a long time. You'll hit the F22, F35. I have to admit, I don't know what the loadouts are on the F22 and F35. The A10 typically has...
I can go over them if you need me to, since I know it off the top of my head.
Yep, go for it.
Sure. Okay, so A10 right now, this all could change probably for the next map, but right now the A10 has the gun, which it has 1,240 rounds, I believe, in total. Which is 30 millimeters, can kill up to BMP easily, and can also kill BMPs with enough round.
Whoa.
Wait.
What the?
I'm sorry, I did not mean to do it.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Put it on safe.
That was not nice.
There we go.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Tilda.
He's just getting started into the vehicles.
I'm sorry, I'll walk back.
Nobody saw that.
Go hide in the corner. Go hide in the corner.
Okay, so has the gun. It
My
has
God.
7 guided
Listen up.
APKWS Hydras.
Yeah.
So those are the same ones that your DAP, what's it called, Black Hawk DAP would have. It only has 7. Keep that in mind. It has 7 unguided HE Hydras, which are M151s, standard HE munitions. It has 2 Mavericks, which are ELs, which means they're laser guided only. It has 2 Mark 82 Mark 82 SCs, which are basically unguided original configuration. I think Mark 82s are 1,000 pound bombs. So pretty big explosion, can easily kill a tank. But they are unguided, so the pilot has to be pretty accurate with them, and they're also Mark 82s, which means the pilot has to fly right over the target to drop the bomb, which, you know, when they do that, they're kind of exposed to AA fire. It has 1 Mark 84 air, which is a Mark 82, but even bigger explosion. That's it. I think that's the
parachute, I think. Out the back.
Yeah, it has a parachute because it's the air version, so it's high drag, and if you drop it from higher altitude, then it's gonna take a long ass time to land. That is all the A10 has, I believe. The F35, I'm not exactly sure on the counts, but it has GBU 12s, I believe, and that's pretty much all it has, like 4 or 6 GBU 12s. And then the F22 has 4 GBU 39s, or 6, I'm not sure which, 4 or 6. So GBU 12s are basically Mark 82s, but they have laser guidance, and they also can be dropped from really far distances, so they're fucking great. And then GBU 39s are small diameter anti-armor bombs. I don't think they will kill an MBT, but they will kill a BMP easily. And they're small diameter, so don't expect it to kill a fuck ton of infantry. That's it.
Alright, you don't need to remember all of that. Even I definitely don't remember everything. The ordnance or the check-in by the aircraft, I figured it should give you the list, and if you need to, you can always look it up or ask the pilot, as Abel has ably illustrated. They should know it. So definitely feel free to do that. Most of the time I will be, I mean it really depends on the target, but most of the time I will be prioritizing missiles first for or guns for armor, medium or heavy armor, even light one, and then the bombs I will typically reserve for the end, simply because, particularly if we've propped a point and the armor is moving a lot, it can be a bit annoying or dangerous for the pilot to kind of lays the target as it keeps moving. So missile is just a lot easier, faster as well. Personal preference, and you can also basically let the pilot know that it's at his discretion, choice of ordnance, which I will cover in the 9-line brief in a few seconds. But that's about it on the loadouts. Then again, this may change and will probably change with Altis. So definitely, kind of the first time you come in, either ask a JTAC, which if you don't have the perms, if you have the perms, just definitely go and check out the Reaper or Demon kind of loadout when you can. Actually, somebody might put it in KCR as well when in there. Any questions? Nope. All right. So we've covered the gear, the comms, the assets, and their loadouts. So now I'm going to talk about the kind of core role, which is the asset control and coordination for the TAC-B. And then I'll finish off with the 5 lines, 9 lines, CAS, etc. But for the asset control, if everybody opens their map up, because you're going to need it while I talk you through it. So typically, if you're lucky and you start off mid-campaign or early campaign, you might only have like 1 CAS asset to monitor, and then maybe a few stalkers. That's the easiest. You know, you only really have to deconflict them in flight as they kind of head out to their different taskings. But if there's only 1 asset that's kind of doing close air support, or you know, Savage is online and doing artillery, you just have to make sure the rounds aren't heading kind of towards that asset. But that's pretty straightforward. The tough bit kind of arrives when you've got multiple close air support assets, and if you got a mix of fixed wing and rotary wing, you really have to make sure that you're deconflicting them both in terms of, you know, where their holding positions are, but also as they start conducting strikes, you have to make sure that ideally they happen one after the other, or if needed and you're really good and or there's a second JTAC with you, you can kind of run simultaneous strikes from different lines, different ceilings, etc., etc. So again, you know, air control is going to be one of the key roles for the TAC-B, particularly with CAS assets as they come in, but also making sure you're deconflicting with Savage as well. And as you probably heard, I'm talking a lot about the close air support, the fixed wing, rotary wing, but Savage also has a really key important role to play in that. But obviously, there's a lot less deconfliction to do with them. They're autonomous, they're land-based, they go kind of where they want to, and then you just have to make sure that the fire missions you're calling with them are kind of deconflicted from any approaching aircraft. So, let me mark on the map, if you open it up, the different types of points that you might find. So, let's put, there we go. CP Juno marked southeast of airport. You've got maybe, or maybe not that close. So let's say target sector alpha is the AO, kind of like here. So this is the AO. I might have everything kind of launching from the airport. Control point Juno is where I will have, CP stands for control point, is where I will have maybe Reaper kind of doing, you know, racetrack patterns kind of along here, just holding position until they get a tasking to strike targets inside the AO. I might have, let's say, LZ4 essentially is where my LZ, platoon LZ is at. Oh, LZ, let's call it Paris. Right, no, let me put it very big so that everybody can see it, kind of here. Actually, I probably wouldn't put the LZ there, but just put it properly. So here, for example, LZs, good to know. Try and keep them, you know, hidden away from the AO. So all of this, as you can see from the map, is flat. You can also check on CTAP. So ideally you want LZs to be, you know, within a click of the AO, but hidden away behind trees or behind, you know, terrain like here. So I might put it down, you know, on the road here, which I know is flat, or kind of, and hidden by some terrain, or I might kind of put it in the bowl here if I've been able to kind of look at it. And I'll touch on LZ briefs in a little bit, but that's more or less, you know, the signs and the kind of locations you would put an LZ if, for example, the platoon was pushing in from here. Control point, let me mark maybe a release point here. Whoops, wrong one. Anybody know what a release point is?
Yeah, it's where, you know, aircraft, they'll go from control point to release point, usually Stoker.
Yeah, so...
And then they can take their own kind of pathing.
Exactly. Typically, honestly, I will put a control point if I've got a CAS asset on, particularly a Reaper. If I only have Stalkers online, I won't necessarily put a control point and a release point on it. I will probably just put the flight routes I want them to take. So I might just do kind of like that and just have them approach, you know, maybe here. Actually, that's probably a bit far. Here, and then approach up down here. The reason why is I hate map clutter myself. I don't like having way too many things on it. It then becomes confusing, and also if I'm trying to track people on CTAP and I've got markings everywhere, it just kind of, I'd rather take it off. But if I've got multiple or even just one Reaper asset up, I'll typically put a control point, simply because that's where I want them to hold in a racetrack pattern. So they'll be doing kind of like stuff like this up here, waiting for tasking, and then a release point. Essentially, although that's really, oops, that's really more for stalkers. That is wrong. There we go. And then from the release point, as Knockout said, basically it's up to the pilot to kind of decide what approach they take to the LZ. I'm not a massive fan of letting the pilots choose. Again, well, for two reasons. One, I'm already typically there near where the LZ's put down. So I've got eyes on the terrain. I've got eyes on the approaches, ingress, egress, threats, etc. So if I put a flight route down, I typically want the stalker to kind of follow it as much as possible. What's up, Ida? Oh. Okay. And also, yeah, if there's any kind of, when I put the flight route down, I typically make sure that it kind of follows a good route for them to approach the LZ from, and typically it's the direction I want them to approach it from. So in this case, I want them to approach LZ Calais or LZ Paris from the south-southwest, simply because that's where the terrain up here is going to be providing cover from any threats from the AO, if they stay below, in this case, like, 50 meters or 60 meters above sea level. Make sense? I'm going to assume yes. I'm going to put a few things down. So a battle point and hold points. Anybody heard of those before?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Reapers, but I've heard of hold points while I've been stuck listening to Reaper.
Okay.
The battle points are interchangeable with IPs, right?
Yes-ish, but not
Battle
completely.
points are for helos, I thought.
So indeed, typically hold points and battle points are for helos. Not always, but that's mostly how I use them. And again, I'm not that experienced. Marty, who's been on the server towards the end of MSK, he's like a professional JTAC, so he'll have a lot better understanding of each of them. but I might have a battle point. So for the AO, if you look north on the map, north up here, I've got hold point gold. So this is where I want the DAP or the longbow to hold. Why do I put it there? Because it's got good cover behind this kind of, you know, major rock and castle formation. So it can hide away from any AA threat. It can just kind of hover behind it. And then if it needs to move and peek or start engaging something, then it can move to BP Omaha, so the battle point Omaha, engage from there, and then fall back to HP Gold immediately after the strike.
Okay, okay.
So that's...
So they don't just pop up and then pop down. You actually move them to another point and then pop up.
You can use a whole point as a battle point as well. That's, you know, with like, it kind of depends on the terrain. But I kind of like to have both of them separate, just to have like a hold point that is kind of really secure, and then a battle point which they can move forward, maybe like 800 meters to like 2 clicks forward, from which they can have a much better overview of the AO.
Okay.
And you can, you don't have to have one hold point or one battle point. I typically have 1 or 2 hold points and then maybe 1 or 2 battle points per hold point. So if you've got 2 hold points, I might have 4 battle points, depending on where I want them to engage on, or which, if they've got here, everything's flat, so it's fine. But, if I want them to engage, for example, if HP Gold was actually on the other side, and I want them to peek from, the north at BP Omaha or the south at BP Utah, then I can just have those and have the same thing, and then kind of decide where I want them engaging from.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Any questions? Nope. Alright. Control points, I'll typically have 1 or 2 up for Reaper. Particularly if I've got 2 assets, I typically have 1 control point per Reaper asset, because I don't want them doing racetrack patterns around each other unless I've specified a particular height. That's also possible. Now, ingress points. So typically I mark them only for Reaper assets, but in this case, if the control point's there, I might have IP Lagoon down here, and maybe, I don't know, up here, Overlord. So 2 ingress points, which are basically like, and typically they'll be following more or less like cardinal points, so you might want to have 1 south or southwest, 1 to the west, 1 to the east, etc. Essentially, it's from the control point, you want the Reaper asset to engage on an attack front coming southwest to northeast in this case, or west to east from IP Overlord, for example. So that's what it's used for. It's going to be part of the 9 line, which I'll cover as well. But essentially, when you put them down, it's basically the start point of the attack run for Reaper. In this case, the IPs are actually way too close. You want the IPs to be like at least 3 or 4 kilometers out from the AO, or where you want them to hit, simply because it's going to take them that long to, laser the target, make sure they've got the ordnance set up, and also to give time for you to coordinate the strike and make sure that everything's clear, and time for you to abort the strike if needed. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you use BPs and HPs as that first line in the 9 lines instead of the IP?
You can, yeah. I don't see why not. Reaper's got the same map markers. I mean, it's
right.
specific to the lib server, so they can see everything. It might not be the case elsewhere, but you can definitely use BP Omaha as an ingress point if needed.
Good, just make sure the healing isn't there. That would be a bad
Yeah, exactly. Or if it's there, just make sure you're like, Demon, this is 1-8, make sure you maintain position at BP Omaha, I don't know, like Cherub 5, so like 500 feet technically, but I'm in meters most of the time, so 500 meters above sea level. And then you can also, as part of the strike, make remarks and restrictions, make sure that Reaper doesn't go below 1,000 meters above sea level. so that you've deconflicted the strike, even though they're on the same point.
Okay.
But ideally, particularly when you're starting off, just make sure they're coming from different places. Alright, so LZs, HLZs, I just use LZ as my standard LZ mark. I don't really put down HLZ. You can if you want. It stands for helicopter landing zone rather than landing zone, because we're on the lib and it's a game, and I've just kind of like LZ works for me. I've started from time to time using HLZ as hot landing zone instead of helicopter landing zone, so one that's like, you know, within 500 meters or 200 meters of the AO and potentially within range of active threats.
That's what I've always learned them
Yeah.
as. I didn't even realize it was helicopter landings.
I didn't
Find that
until Marty kind of came along and
Yeah.
was like, actually.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's up to you. As long as you're clear in your communication as to, you know, what you're referencing, then it's fine.
Now, would you put that as a remark or restriction on the stalker pilots? Be like, hey, I mean, it's not technically a 9-line, but would you be in that LZ brief just saying, here's the threats, I want you to stay down, you know, approach that, you know. Does that make
So
sense?
for the threats, it would be within the helicopter brief, and then remarks I would have like, yeah, if I consider it to be a hot landing zone or not.
Okay.
So, talking of briefs, so AO briefs, area of operations brief, whenever an asset comes online, whether that's Stalker, Rebuild Demon, and in fact you can also talk to Savage as well if you are aware of any counter battery that's already been active while you've been working it. You're going to be, well, once the aircraft has checked in, or the rotary craft or Savage has checked in, you're going to be giving an AO brief. So essentially kind of talking about, and there's a really good like, what is it called, paper that's been added, I think, in the forum, in the Discord forum, by, I think it's Jack, who's got the 9-line briefs, 5-line briefs, etc. But it tells you kind of what the AO brief should look like. So essentially, you know, what AO we're looking at. So in this case, target sector alpha is the AO. You would include description of friendly forces. So, you know, first platoon, 3 squads strong, moving into target sector alpha with the intent of the platoon leader to capture point blah blah blah, or VJ1 or VJ2 or VJ3. You would include any known enemy forces. So, you know, if somebody's been doing, a Phantom's been doing some reconnaissance with their drone, and they've already marked EI and, you know, 1 BMP, you can include that in the AO brief. So you've got, you know, enemy infantry, possible man pads, as well as 1 times enemy armor spotted, possible BMP or BMD. Just include that in the AO brief. No known AA threats other than the man pads. So as far as you're aware, you know, there's no shulkers, there's no ZUs, etc., etc. That's obviously the key thing in the AO brief, is the threat to the asset. And then, if you want, you can also include, you know, what the LZs are, what the priority LZs are. So if, you know, you've got an alternate LZ or an LZ, well, actually it's something I use quite a lot. I typically have 2 LZs, an alternate LZ and a closer LZ to the AO, so that if, you know, the LZ closer to the AO gets a little bit too hot, I just tell them to head to the alternate LZ or ALZ on the map. But all of that is basically included in your AO brief. If you want, if it's a demon, you might have your hold points and battle points already set up, so you can talk them through it. If you got Reaper, you've got your control points and ingress point if you use that, etc., etc. But it's basically giving the lay of the land and the intent of friendly forces that are currently advancing towards an OBJ.
The alternate LZ, would you mark that as ALZ?
Yeah, I
okay.
typically mark it as ALZ.
Okay.
In fact, it's something I'm going to reinforce, is actually, as much as possible, try and have 2 LZs. So the LZ proper and an alternate LZ. I've had it where, everything's fine, and then 2 minutes later you've got a BMP that's on the LZ, and you know, Stalker's on the way with reinserts, and you just don't have time to open it up and put an LZ down because you're under fire or something. So make sure you tell them to wave off and hold until the LZ is put down, or have them head to the LZ, which hopefully is, you know, secure from the point of view of the initial LZ, so the BMP can't engage the LZ.
Mark emergency LZs, or that up to the pilot?
You can tell them to do that. I've never needed to, really, but it's definitely something that's possible. Yeah. Also on the LZs, so LZ briefs, pretty straightforward. You should have, so there's like, again in the forums, go print out. That's what I've done. These two, it should be the latest forum post because I plugged it just before this, so you should be able to see it. I think it's like 1.8 JTAC something. You got helicopter landing zone brief, which is right, you know, the location of the LZ, what it's marked by. So typically on the map, it's a map marker. So like LZ Paris, which I'm gonna put back down, down here, for example. So you would have, yeah, like LZ Paris marked on map. In the server, there's no wind, so you don't need that. You've got LZ size. If you want to say, particularly if it's small, I recommend it. Say like maybe, I don't know, like 20 by 20 meters, just so they have an idea of the size of the LZ and Stalker doesn't discover it when they arrive. Hazards, extremely important, particularly if there's trees or small bushes. Power lines and buildings is less of an issue here, but trees and bushes are typically what make a Stalker asset flip. If the pilot's not paying attention, or if it's just a really small LZ, so make sure you let them know that. Enemies, so any kind of threats to the LZ, if it's clear, let them know. If it's not clear, there's a BMP on it, you know, let them know it's closed or there's man pads in the area, so just a heads up. Where the friendlies are, I mean, I typically don't include that. I usually just have like what it's marked by, the size, the hazards, and the enemy situation. If you know you're on the LZ and you can mark it, great. Mark it by smoke as they approach. If there's a specific point you want them to land at, or even better at night, have chem lights. Extremely useful for the pilots at night because they don't really have, even with the night vision, they don't have a good idea of where the ground is in the asset. So just make sure you've got chem lights carrying as well.
How long do those typically last?
The LZ brief?
No, the chem lights.
It's a good question. I think over half an hour. So typically enough for you to push 1 AO. But yeah, carry it. Just drop, like, I typically drop 2, maybe 3 per LZ, but typically 2 just so that I've got like 6 or 7 or 8. So I can do like 3 or 4 LZs.
Okay.
One thing to note is, well, actually a question for you guys. Do you believe LZs should be checked before they're marked, or are you more like kind of drop them down where it looks good?
Honestly, I'd prefer checked, but if you don't have that option, then I kind of...
Yeah, I think that's fair, but as much as possible, always check your LZs. Even if it's, you know, unless it's within your direct vision and within like a click and you can see it and you can make sure that everything around it is clear, as much as possible check your LZs. The reason why I say that is there's one time on the map before MSKE, can't remember where it was, Colombia I think.
Colombia.
Yeah, it was Colombia, where so a squad had inserted by boat onto just off a river towards an AO. I managed to catch up to them. I can't remember, I think it was an LZ that was a little bit further out, and then we captured the point, and then we started pulling back, and I was like, oh, that's, you know, wide open space right next to the river, which with Colombia was an issue because there was a lot of jungle, so it looks great. You know, the platoon, or at least one squad, went through it. They didn't have any contact there, and I checked with the squad, so I put down the LZ, and I'm like, okay, Stalker's on the way, but I should really check the LZ just to make sure. And luckily I did, because in the meantime, for some reason, an HMG had spawned, as well as like 2 or 3 infantry have managed to make their way that had like overview of the LZ. So as I was approaching, I got engaged. Managed to wave off Stalker like 200 meters before they started their approach run. So highly recommend checking your LZs physically as much as possible. It's not always possible, particularly if they're far, or if you're just reinserting on restart, right? You won't have eyes on. But in that case, just find like as secure an LZ as you can, and always check your LZs if possible, physically. Small scenario that's kind of important to highlight. LZ briefs I've talked about. Check-ins. So I'm still on control coordination. Yeah. Important point. Abort codes. Every Demon and Reaper asset should have an abort code. For Stalker, there's no, they're not conducting a strike, so it's just wave off, or abort if you don't want them to land at LZ. But for Reaper and Demon, you should, when they do their check-in, they will provide an abort code. Make sure you write it down, because if anything changes during a strike, you can abort it until the very last moment using that abort code. Some pilots have abort codes that are just abort. Typically, it should be another word. I've got, one of the pilot has boomerang as his abort code. So just make sure you have that and you write it down, because if anything changes, if friendlies get too close, or you've got a civilian suddenly coming in, you can call out the abort code and then can wave off. Same thing for Savage. Obviously, Savage is a little bit different. Once the rounds are in the air, not much you can do. Yeah, the kind of terminal attack direction for Savage is a little longer, so there's not much you can do once the rounds are up. But for Demon and for Reaper strikes, you still have quite a lot of control until the very end. So that covers asset control and coordination, at least in my mind. Yeah, ceilings, remarks, restrictions I can talk about in the next bit, which is close air support and CFF, so the 5 lines and 9 lines. So now into kind of the meat of the strikes. Savage is pretty straightforward, 5 lines, so you have the elevation, extremely important. You can get that from the micro dagger and the vector, but also potentially from CTAB. If you've got TRP down, you can just look at CTAB, put the marker on it. If you've got the map marker tools up, and then you can just read the elevation there. Obviously 8-digit grid at least for Savage, ideally, unless you've got like a military point and you just want them to wreck a 100 meter square grid or kilometer square grid for any reason. But I've never had that, so it's always been 8 to 10-digit grids that I've shared with Savage. Same thing for Stalker, for Reaper and Demon. 8 or ideally 10-digit grids, particularly for bombs, gun runs and missiles, less important. But certainly for bombs, if you want to bomb on target, 10-digit grid is ideal, particularly for the small diameter bomb, because as Abel stated, right, if you miss, it doesn't really have much of an effect. So that's for Savage. You can mark it down as TRPs. Savage can calculate it themselves, but ideally you want to be the one sharing the 10-digit or the TRP with Savage directly. For rotary wing or fixed wing, so 9 lines. Anybody know what a game plan is?
Yes.
What is composed of? All right, rather better question. Anybody not know what a game plan is? Maybe Penguin?
I do not know.
Wagadu? No. All right, so essentially game plan. So first of all, I will be giving to you like the 9-line version of this, so simply because it's the fastest and easiest way to communicate all the information needed for a strike. You can potentially not use 9 lines. The SOPs under the JTAC or TAC-P clearly say, like, as long as there's the elevation, the target location, target description, and I can't remember, like 2 or 3 more things, you can just call that and have them strike it. But pilots will typically be asking you for 9 lines, and it's just overall better and faster ways to share information, and that way there's no confusion. So I'm just going to be talking about this right now. So as part of 9 lines, you've got, or rather game plan, you've got a few things. I'm going to be talking about the 3 types of control for fixed wing and rotary wing. So type 1, type 2, and type 3. And this is stuff you can look up a little bit more online if you want, or if you want to jot it down, it's important. Type 1 control is essentially you have visibility on both the target that you want striked, and also the asset that's going to be conducting the strike. So you're going to be, you've got eyes on Demon in the distance, or you've got eyes on Reaper coming in as they're about to strike. So you have eyes on both things, both the asset conducting the strike and the target. Type 2 control, you only have eyes on one of those. So you, for example, you won't have eyes on Reaper, or you won't have eyes on Demon, but you will have eyes on the target. Or you don't have eyes on the target because it's behind a hill, for example, but you have eyes on Demon and Stalker, Reaper, sorry, conducting the strike because they're coming in from behind you. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
This is something that you will have to state before you're typically. You can just use it during you can say it during the game plan. I typically use it as soon as I conduct my AO brief. I typically let them know what type of control I want them operating under. But yeah, up to you to decide. And then you've got type 3 control, which is when you don't have eyes on the asset and you don't have eyes on the target. The vast majority of type 3 control strikes will be when you want Demon or Reaper to engage a battle group, which you don't have eyes on. So the battle group is on the way to the point that it's targeting, right, or the platoon. But you've got, you don't have eyes on it. It's like 5 clicks or 8 clicks out, and you want them to engage it independent of your visibility. That's really the only time you should be conducting type 3 control strikes. The rest of the time, it should be type 1 or type 2. Most of the time, for me at least so far, it's been type 2 controls, so I've had eyes on the target, but I haven't had eyes on Reaper, or because they're too high, or they're coming in from too far, or from Demon because, yeah, again, they're like 5 kilometers out and their strike is happening from there. Little birds that have M134s or machine guns set up typically will be more type 1 control, but most of the time the company decides to skip the little bird and go straight to like a DAP type asset, simply because it's just heavier firepower.
We don't even have little birds anymore, so.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Hope maybe for Altus we'll get them back. Fingers crossed. I quite like them. So yeah. Any questions on the types of control? Nope. Alright. 9-line game plan. So game plan as follows. Typically you would include the type of control if you want a bomb or an ordnance on a target or on a coordinate. Most of the time it's going to be on a target. You shouldn't really be, I mean, you don't, I've never had to call on a coordinate before, but it's possible. And then you've got the, oh shit, I forgot the third bit.
Type ordnance or intent.
That's it. Type of ordnance and intent. So if you want to destroy, neutralize, and also type of ordnance. So if you want, if you want a gun run, if you want a missile strike, if you want a bomb strike, etc. You can say, you can let the pilot decide the type of ordnance, depending on the target. At which point you would just say, your choice of ordnance. So typical, the first 3 bits of this game plan would be, Reaper 1, this is 1.8. Advise when ready for game plan. They let me know, Reaper 1, 1.8, this is Reaper 1, ready for game plan. And then I would go, okay, type 3 control, bomb on target, and then just say your choice of ordnance, because I don't have eyes on what they're going to be engaging, assuming it's a battle group, and they can just decide what they want to use ordnance-wise. And then type 1 and type 2 control, the rest of the 9-line will go ingress point, so where you want the asset to come in. If it's demon, it might be the battle point, right? They don't really need to ingress anywhere near the AO. They can hold off at 5 or 6 clicks and engage from that range, or maybe a little bit closer if they want to engage with the 30 mic. You would have the heading from that ingress point. So if you open up the map and you look at IP Dragoon, if let's say the target is exactly target sector alpha mark over here, you would have bearing whichever the bearing is to the northeast. You've got a distance of maybe, I don't know, 1.5 or 2 clicks. You would get the map tools out to measure it, or use the C-tab if the IP is on top of your position, for example. You then have the key elements, which are the target elevation. So either using C-tab or by using the vector and the micro dagger, which will give you the elevation and the range just above the 10-digit grid. So typically the elevation is, I don't know, 30 meters or within 100 meters of mean sea level. That can change though if the map is mountainous. So it will adjust or depending on whether or not you're in lithium, for example, as a map, or maybe even Altis, although Altis is pretty flat for some of it. So that should be that will be the next information you pass. Interesting, my mic headset literally just shut off. Target description, so if it's a BMP, T80, if it's 7 times EI in the open, etc, etc, or if it's a bunker with a GFG on top. Target location, have the 10-digit grid ready ideally, or 8-digit, or if needed the mark on the map, but I highly recommend not using that. It's just too long for the asset to kind of find the 10-digit or 8-digit. So ideally you have it ready either because you've blazed it or found it yourself, or because Phantom has provided it to you, or 1.6 as well. The type of mark, so if it's marked by laser or not typically, but you might also have a mark on the map, or you might also have the red smoke mark, sorry, like I had earlier. So if you can kind of smoke the right location of a bunker or of an enemy squad, or even platoon in the open, you can use that. The location of friendlies, so what is the closest squad or vehicle, whether that's 1-1, 1-4, whether that's the command element yourself, because you're getting flanked from the east and you don't have any squads out there. So all of that should be hold. So friendlies, nearest friendlies 400 meters west of target. And then finally the egress, the ninth line is egress, so egress west, north, east, depending on where you want them to pull out towards. The main reason you would have the egress is to avoid any kind of AA threat, or have them flying over enemy territory. Now, that's a lot of information. You can provide the whole 9 line if you want. The majority of the time I will not be providing full 9 lines to the pilots, simply because the heading, distance, type of mark, if I'm not marking it, and the egress is not always necessary. So you can kind of shorten it if needed, but at least for your awareness you can go full 9 line, and it would sound, with a full game plan, it would sound something like this. So Reaper, this is 1.8, advise 1 only for game plan. 1.8, this is Reaper 1, ready for game plan, and then I would go into it. So Reaper 1, Type 3 control, bomb on target, 1 times GBU 39, advise 1 ready for 9 line. Reaper 1, this is, 1.8, this is Reaper 1, ready for 9 line. From IP Dragoon, head northeast along bearing XXX for 2 clicks. You have target elevation 31 meters above sea level, target description 1 times BMP in the open, location, and you can read the 10-digit grid. So for example, the last 10-digit grid I have is 00817, break 01172. No mark on location. You have the closest friendlies I don't know, 2 clicks southwest at airport. So friendly's no factor if you want to just even have it not as verbose. And then egress, southeast so that they stay away from potential enemy held territory to the north. That's more or less, so within, if the more you do it, it should be a lot of information that you can pass on in about 20 seconds on the radio. I typically don't go that far. I typically just use from overhead, which basically shortens everything and goes straight to the target elevation. So from overhead, so the pilot's discretion from their current location, you can choose your own heading and just approach from whichever direction. From overhead, target elevation 31 meters above sea level, 1 times VMP in the open, grade 00817, break 01172. I'm saying it a bit fast, typically I would slow it down a little bit. No mark, closest friendlies, 2 clicks southwest, no factor, egress to the southeast. And that should be enough. And then normally, what happens then is the pilot reads back to you the key bits of information, which are target elevation, target description, target location, and location of friendlies. The reason for that is they want to know what they're going to be striking, and they want to know if there's any kind of danger close, and they're not going to risk striking friendlies. Any questions on that so far? Alright. I know it's a lot. I'm speaking a lot. There's not much practical application, but hopefully before the map comes up, I'll be able to run a practical session.
I've got a question real quick.
Yep.
On line 7 for the mark, what are the different options basically? I know there's a pilot tally, which is when he can see it, and then there's contact whenever he pulls it up on a sensor.
Yep. So under the mark here, it's only going to be kind of if you're laser designating something yourself, or if you have demon lasing or the DAP lasing for a Reaper to strike, or if there's a mark like a smoke, for example, like on purple smoke, for example. But,
okay, I got you.
Not really the contact or tally. That is actually just immediately afterwards. But yeah, so once you've given your 9 line, if you don't have any remarks, you can just finish up with no remarks after the 9 line. If you do have remarks, you finish off your 9 line, you wait for the pilot to read back and confirm the target location, description, elevation, and location of friendlies, and then you just say, advise we're ready for remarks, or let me know when I have some remarks for you, or Reaper 1-18, advise when ready.
So okay, so that more or less goes into the R&R, is what you're saying?
Nope. It's gonna go somewhere else typically, unless you. So it depends what you use it for. If you're talking about talking the asset onto a target, then yes, it could be in the remarks and restrictions. So say, advise when ready for remarks. Reaper, this is Reaper ready for remarks, and then you can just talk them on from big to small, right? So can you call contact on big hangar on first big hangar on airport facing, south.
Yeah. Okay.
Try and find it, and then you can talk them onto it.
I got you. Okay.
Now, so once you've given the 9 line, they've read back confirmation, you don't have any remarks, for example, then Reaper, because, Demon's got a slightly different one, but Reaper will typically call in, or tipping in, or starting engagement, commencing engagement, something like that, to let the JTAC know that they're on the attack run, or they're starting the attack run. So typically that's called once they've hit the ingress point. Once they've called in, TAC roll or JTAC roll is to make sure that everything is still, the target hasn't moved, friendlies haven't gotten too close, nothing really has changed in the landscape, in the picture. Once you're happy with that, you just call continue. So it goes in, continue. Once you're happy, then Reaper will typically say, or Demon will say tally. So once they've got contact with the target, so they've got the laser set up on it, for example, or they're ready to engage, really. So the missile's ready, the bomb's ready, the gun run is ready, and then that's the final bit where JTAC will then answer with cleared hot, cleared to engage. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. Just to to let them know that you're happy with the weapons release and everything is still as it should be. You can abort an attack run at any point up until you say cleared hot. Once you say cleared hot, typically the pilot will, or the gunner will press on the release, and the weapon or missile or bomb will be gone. So you can abort at any point up until then. Any questions?
I do have one. It's related to the talking on.
Yeah.
I think there's like a grid slew. How many core? Like, is it capable of 8-digit, 10-digit, or
It's
is it
only
just
capable of 10-digit with the enhanced turret mod. So
Okay.
you need a straight up 10-digit for that one.
Okay.
Did not know that. I thought it was up to 8. Cool. Thanks, Abel. So yeah. So that's the attack run. Demon, I will ask for just once they're ready at the battle point, I will just ask for them to call the tally on the target that they have, right? They don't have a real attack run if they're just holding position in a hover and engaging from a distance with the ATMs. So I will just wait for a tally, and then once I'm happy with that, I'll just clear them hot to engage the target. Make sense? Yep. Yep. So the full game plan and talk on would be something like this. So Reaper, this 1.8 advise when ready game plan. 1.8 Reaper 1, this ready for game plan. Game plan as Reaper 1.8 game plan as follows. Type 3 control, well actually Type 1 control, bomb on target, 1 times GBU 39. Advise when ready for 9 line. Reaper 1, Reaper 1, this one. 1.8, this is Reaper 1. Sorry, I've never played Reaper 1, so this is a little bit complicated. Reaper 1, ready for 9 line. 1.8, this Reaper, this is 1.8. From overhead, target elevation 31 meters above sea level, 1 times BMP in the open, location grid 00817, break 01172. No mark, closest friendlies 2 clicks southwest, no factor. Egress at your discretion, no remarks. And then read back for confirmation. Then they read back elevation, description, location, location of friendlies. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm like, they should confirm read back, and then Reaper 1 will let me know once if they're pushing IP Dragoon or their time to target, which might be 2 mics or 5 mics if they're really quite far out. From that point, they'll say 1.8, this is Reaper 1, inbound IP Dragoon, at which point I would say, if I'm happy with everything, continue. Tally target, cleared hot, and then weapons release. And then once they pull out, I am looking for the battle damage assessment, so the BDA, which I should always be providing following a strike by Savage, Demon, or Reaper, any of the assets. So essentially, has the target been dealt with? What was the effect? Was it visibility kill and the turret is still active, so they need to do a second pass, or there's still several infantry or HMG has been remanned, so they do a second pass, or is it accurate hit and target's been neutralized? Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So that's most of it. I think I've covered. Calls for fire from Savage. I mean, it's a regular 5 line, so same thing. I think I covered it right. Elevation, 10-digit or TRP mark, type of ordnance, how many rounds, closest friendlies, and then read back to confirm, and then just clear them hot for the mission for the fire mission when they're ready.
I've got a question actually, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this, I don't know if, I hope this is this might be an obvious question. I hope it's a dumb question, but all the pilots know what an overhead fire mission is, right? Like, they're not, if I give somebody an overhead, they're still going to use the IPs that are on the map to figure out their own ingress and all that stuff, right? They're not just going to go off in some random direction and then I have
They
no idea
will-
what direction the fire is coming from. You know what I mean? Or how does that work?
They will if you say from overhead. It's really up to them to determine it. But then what happens? So either you specify, you know, the IP you want them to come in, or you can say, you know, as a remark or restriction, if you say from overhead and as a remark or restriction, please come in from the, you know, southeast or northwest or west overhead of platoon, for example. That can be a remark and restriction at the end.
Okay, okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, 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 that makes sense.
Alright. So... Did you make me think of something? Oh yeah, I am, as 1.8, I am basically like 70% of the time on my CTAP. Particularly if I've called a strike by Demon or by Reaper, I want to make sure that they are at the correct BP or coming in from the correct ingress point or from a good direction. So I can always call them back on 81 if I think that the current approach is wrong. Right, ultimately I own the strike. So if they're coming, you know, from front of the platoon towards the platoon, and I can see their strike is going to, particularly if it's a gun strike, is going to take the gun run towards the platoon, then I might have them wave off and come in from a different attack line, which I would specify.
Okay.
To be honest, in Arma 3, just the mechanics of, you know, like when the bomb lands, it's just going to explode in a 360-degree angle. You can't, it's not, as far as I know, the mechanic isn't set up so that the fragmentation direction is, you know, away from where it's landing. So choosing the attack run direction, so from this, to keep it away from infantry or friendlies, doesn't matter as much as it would, for example, in real life. The gun run is the place where I would have the most concern, because it's easy to undershoot or overshoot the gun run. So I would avoid having the gun run come over my head. I would have the gun run come out of a perpendicular angle to the platoon as much as possible. Make sense?
Yeah, I noticed that even with like really good gunners, when I was doing some practice, it would come up short and then it'd walk in, and then
Yeah.
even afterwards there would be some more.
Yeah, with the A10, just because the gun just kind of, it shoots after you start pressing the button and it stops after you let go. Just because it takes a while to, I guess the mechanic they've set up, which is accurate, is it takes a while for the gun to spin up and start spinning rounds. But yeah, that's when I would, if I've got a gun run, I would typically have it perpendicular or kind of slanted away from the platoon, and not coming in basically parallel or directly on top of our heads. But that's the only time really that I'm most concerned about engagements coming in from overhead with no specific attack line. For a bomb, for a missile, it doesn't really matter most of the time. Alright, engagement zones and ceilings. I guess one last thing, yeah, engagement zones. You can designate different engagement zones for different, you know, assets, whether that's if you've got 2 demons and 2 reapers, or 1 reaper, 1 demon, you can have them targeting different things. So that's typically what I do, is then I just mark it on the map. So for example, if you open up your map and I've got Reaper targeting, you know, specific pinpoint targets on target sector alpha, and I know that there's reinforcements that are probably going to be coming in from LZ1 because we also proc this point, then I might have demon engage anything in this kill box, and just mark it typically like I typically have a warning and just put demon kill box, and then I just clear demon pot type 3 control on the kill box, clear to engage any and all enemy contacts in kill box, Let me know if you see any civilians. Friendly is no factor because the platoon's pushing in from the south. And then I would have Reaper kind of doing their stuff within here. That's one way you can do it. I've only used it once before, where there was just a massive infantry push along a river or along a beach, I think in Colombia, and I just put a kill box like all along it. But the rest of the time, I've never really used the kill box. I just prefer to direct the strikes myself.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yep.
So would the demon be preferred for that kind of response? Just they're more stable, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how would you do the ingress and egress for Reaper? Just would you try and make sure that they don't cross the line, like maybe come in from southwest, egress northeast, kind of thing? Or,
I try and keep them as far away from the enemy held areas as possible.
Okay.
So if everything north of this red line on the map is enemy held territory, I want, as soon as they come in to do the attack run, I'm asking them to pull south or maybe southeast, and all of my attack runs are going to be maximum east to west or west to east. None of them are going to be like north to south unless the release point is somewhere like down here.
Okay.
And they can fly off to the side here basically.
Okay.
But yeah, as much as possible I keep them away from enemy held territory.
Okay.
Because that's where most of the man pads and S300s will be spawned from.
Okay, and then would you want them to come like this so that they don't cross Demon's line? Assuming.
Yep, as well. Okay. Exactly. You know, both assets should be monitoring 80. So if you want to give a warning to Demon that Reaper's inbound on, you know, a west to east flight line, strike run, then they should be aware of it and they can hold fire or just keep an eye out for the asset. You can, but otherwise, yeah, I would just try and keep it just for ease of planning and deconfliction away from where Demon would be engaging.
Okay. Cool.
Alright, I'm over time, and it's a ton of information. So all I can recommend is you coming to more JTAC training sessions, whether that's with me or others, and also just coming onto the server whenever there's somebody who's piloting. You can just put a message in KCS, see if somebody can link up to you, and just practice. And then I will be more than happy to play with some of you as 1-8 whenever you guys get your perms, if you want to do that. And that's it.
Yeah, that's
Just make sure to tell them that you're new in practice, because
Yeah.
they might get a little angry with you.
I definitely go. Oh, sorry. Actually, 2 last points. Definitely go print out the documents just for reference that Jack put in the forum post, the latest forum post. So I plugged it, so it should be the first one that you see in the Discord KC forums bit. And then definitely have a notepad next to you whenever you're playing, because you'll be writing down the ordnance of each asset, potentially their abort code, and also 10-digit grids pretty regularly. So highly recommend having a piece of paper.
If you play Dodge, then you have
Or
a notepad.
99ers notepad
Yeah,
mod,
I
it also
think.
works.
Or
Yeah,
there's that
one
as well.
works really good.
There is that. I just find it clunky whenever I just prefer having it handy rather than typing it
You
out.
have to switch your laser, or your light and laser switch,
Yeah, exactly
it-
as well.
because it
It's like-
wants to do that instead of going to the actual cast line.
Yeah, it's the same keybind, I think.
Oh, this card sheet's cool. That's nice.
What?
This card sheet's nice. I like it. I'm gonna print that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I like
they're really
about
useful.
the 9 line is that it can also like save 20 pages of each.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
I just have them for reference. I don't write on them. I just use the notepad to write the
But honestly, if you're
elevation
really
and grid.
committed and you don't want to use anything IRL, you could literally make like something like a Word or Excel sheet to type into. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you got a second monitor and you can do that, that's
Yeah,
another
well, you
way.
know, second monitor chads.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about the 9 lines mod. Well, how does that work?
So
It's
basically
in the
yeah,
it's
it's in
an
the extra
additional mod.
list.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not in the extra ones. You're gonna have to actually go download it from the Karma Liberation page,
Okay.
and then once you enable it, it will have different key commands like Shift Control. C brings up your 9-line. Shift Control. What is it?
You can change all the keybinds, so it doesn't.
Yeah. There's a fire for effect like Savage and.
Yeah,
And so, is that useful? You guys use that yourself when you're using it, or like
Well, I
for
do,
9
but
lines?
some don't. It's
I
up to
don't.
preference.
Yeah, it's up to preference.
Because Raid here doesn't, but I use it all the time.
Okay.
It just, yeah, it depends. If you don't mind typing and I just like to, basically, typically have my C tab open, so you can't do both at the same time. So that's why I have a notepad. But yeah, as Abel said, it's up to personal preference.
Another good recommendation I heard was get like a white erase board and like permanent marker the 9-line, and then have
Yeah,
the rest.
if you have that, that's even better, so that you're not, wasting notepad after notepad like I've done, but not wasting. but I don't have that at home, so.
Yeah, that's what Marty said. He said he's got shitloads of sticky notes all over.
Yeah, sticky notes is another one.
What's funny is he said, I don't even really need those anymore. But
He just has them.
But they're there.
yeah, well, yeah, because they're like the it was what the 9-line was and what the cast was, and I mean like the medevacs and all that stuff. And so he just had them everywhere. So wherever you looked, it would remind him what it was, Then he used
That's a good idea.
notepads and stuff for the actual writing down of it.
Yeah, if you got an erase, like a white erase board, that could be really good as well. Alright, well, if able, if you still have time.
Yeah, I think that.
Alright, I'm actually going to do some hands-on training, because I haven't done it in like a good month. So, if you guys have time and you want to join, we can just head over to, I think it's Target Sector Bravo, and run some actual hands-on practice. Or you can head off and have a good
I'm down.
afternoon.
Target Sector Bravo.
Make sure you've got as much as possible a vector and a micro dagger at least.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Alright, I'll see you there. I think it's a respawn option, so.
Yep.
There. Alright, so I've...
What is this fucking ALOS airfield runway?
Alright, let me just put it as additional. JTAC Reapers 1880. Let me put it on speaker so that you guys can hear. I've shared my my kit if you guys want to see it, and I think should be in the public one. Alright, let's go up. once you guys are all set with your kits, just come up the stairs. I think, I think you can get up here. Yeah, you can. No. Damn it. Oh yeah, there we go.
Reaper 1 lifting, Aeros Airfield, mainline right.
Sometimes you gotta get out of the corner.
Is there a way to look at or listen to multiple comms at once?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want hey Wolf, can you walk him through it?
Okay, what you want to listen to? The long range?
Reapers 1-8, good copy, let me know once you're entering AO.
You hit your Alt P.
Roger.
Hit channel 2. For this it's showing 81. They're on the right side, second button from the top is set additional channel. Hit that. Then you can go over to the third column on the very bottom. It has stereo settings. And then switch which ear you want that to be in. I generally have my additional in my right ear, and then you hit the channel 1 button, and then you can do the same with the stereo settings there.
That sounds cool.
28 Reaper checking in 81.
Kit check, Reaper 1, 81.
Roger, Reaper 1 is gonna fly to target sector Bravo and then provide a weapons check-in.
And then for your
Kit
short
check, Reaper 1.
range, it's you hit the up button, the next channel, and then you click on it and type in what freak you want. Then you go to set frequency, which is the second button on the far right. You hit set frequency, then go set additional channel, which is the left arrow.
Yep, I got
And
that one.
then you go to the previous channel, which is going to be a regular one. You can also do the stereo settings. It's the bottom leftmost button.
28
for
Reaper
your
81.
additional. And then you can do the same for your regular
Sunday
channel as
Reaper.
well.
Interrogative, are you ready for cast check-in?
Hold 1, Reaper 1.
Holding.
Ready
So-
to blow some shit up.
Reaper's in the air, right? So he's already
That's
checked
nice.
his... What?
No, that's nice. He's in there already.
Oh yeah. So as you can hear, he typically checks in when he's leaving, and then once he's entering the AO. Typically, once he enters the AO is when you want the AO brief. So this is what he's going to give us now. Reaper 1-18, go ahead for AO brief. 81.
Roger, standby.
Extend my view distance. Something else as a JTAC, having the view distance up is
Reaper 1 is
important.
checking in 1x810C at this time. Currently, I am at Angels 2.4 or 1,300 meters around target sector Bravo break. My munitions include 1,350 rounds of gun ammunition, 7 times guided hydras, 7 times unguided hydras, 2 times Mark 82s, 1 times Mark 84, 2 times AGM-65 laser guided Mavericks, and 2 times Fox 2s. I am laser capable, and my flight time should be around 40 minutes.
Roger that, Reaper 1. Reading back as follows: 1,350 rounds of gun, 7 times guided Hydra, 7 times unguided Hydra, 2 times Mark 82, 1 times Mark 84, 4 times AGMK, and 1 times interrogative.
2 times Fox 2s, I believe. I think you missed that out.
Yep, copy that, thank you. Alright, so as you can see, it goes quite quickly, particularly with experienced pilots. So feel free to ask, if you've missed something, which I did, and often happens. If there's like a decent list with the A10, there's quite a lot. Then again, once you know the loadout, it should be pretty straightforward. typically doesn't change, but make sure you got everything down so that you know which ordnance to pick for what. So I'm just going to put a control point somewhere.
Give us a port code, because I didn't hear it.
Oh, very good point. I just need control point alpha. Just put it there. Reaper 1881.
Send message.
Reaper confirm with port code.
Port code's gonna be firewall.
What was that? Reaper 18. Repeat that. Firewall.
Yep, firewall.
Good copy.
Firewall?
Firewall, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
Reaper 118 push to control point alpha east southeast of AO and hold position. Await task.
Roger, control point alpha.
Alright. Let's look for the first target. Anybody got eyes on? Quick target. Blow up. Oh, there's one over there. Alright. That's a sprite.
Harry?
To bearing 124, 125 on the crossroads.
Reaper 1 arrived at control point alpha, standing by.
Good copy. Alright. Reaper 118, advise we're ready for AO brief. Over.
Sunday, a brief.
Reaper 18 brief as follows. Platoon currently hold up central bunker at break. Target sector Bravo, holding position, defensive, not moving, break. Multiple enemy armor in the AO, unknown if any AX threat at this time. Over.
Roger, good copy.
Alright, so if everybody wants to give me a 10-digit grid on that sprut.
I have one.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one.
092
Yeah,
46 break.
Yep.
11
Yep.
Tank, one click.
61 is the 10.
So 09246 break 11631.
Yes.
Alright, cool. That
That's
is also
the
what I
digit.
have. That is also what I have. Reaper 18, advise when ready for tasking.
Sign game plan.
Reaper 18, game plan as follows. Type 2 control, bomb on target, 1 times, mark 84. Advise when ready for 9 lines.
Sunday 9.
9 lines follows. From overhead, target, description 1 times, sprut in the open, elevation 39 above mean sea level, target grid 09246, break 11631, over. Friendlies no factor, egress at your discretion.
Roger, can you repeat IP again?
From overhead, so any IP you choose.
Roger, coming in at 1 times, mark 84 from IP double cross. Enemy target is a BM, actually 2S25 spread in the grid 092116. Friendlies are rigged. About a kilometer to the northwest, egress gonna be to the north.
Good copy, confirm, reback. And as you can see, I completely forgot friendly positions.
Oh no, you said no factor.
Yeah, no
Oh, did I?
factor. Yeah.
I was confused there for a second. Alright. So he's going to be coming in from the east, north to east. Yeah, Mark 84 should take a little while to land.
Reaper in.
Reaper 1 continue.
Tally target.
Clear hot. So, it should be somewhere over there. As you can see, like, it's actually really difficult to track the A10 up until like the very last moment.
Did he say he was egressing north?
He didn't say, I think. Did he? Let's see.
It doesn't matter.
He said northeast.
Northeast. Oh yeah, there he is. Oh yeah. So bomb is in the air, you can see it dropping down.
Yep, I can really see it dropping down.
He's egressing northeast, yep.
Little sprot.
Insert cartoon sound right now.
Can hear it. So most of my engagements will be Type 2 controlled just because I don't see the A10 for most of the attack run. The only time I might move to Type 1 control with it is if it's like really close to us and or if it's a gun run.
Splash in 10.
Copy, eyes on target. Oh, you can see it dropping down. Ooh, that was a miss.
Splash.
Stand by for BDA. Miss.
Yeah, it's nice.
Roger.
Reaper 1-8, same attack profile, re-attack, using 1x Mark 82.
Roger. Reaper coming in from IP level cross enemy target in grid. 090116 and maybe 2 S75 spread 1x Mark 82 friendlies no factor.
Reaper 1-8, the advised target grid is 092116, 092196.
Affirm. Reaper 1 is in.
Continue.
Tally target.
Clear hot. If somebody can identify another vehicle,
I know, believe I can find some others because I've been here doing drone ISR before.
There's more over that way on the other bunker.
yeah.
So that last munition, just to clarify, what that was the Mark 82?
That was the Mark
Yeah.
84.
The Mark 84. Okay.
This one's a Mark 82.
Yeah.
Okay. The one with the parachute is the 84, and then this one doesn't have. Okay.
Then again, you have to remember these are dumb bums, so they don't have a laser guided kit, so it's just kind of up to the
Raid.
Yep.
I got you now. Target BMP bearing 200.
Alright, get a 10 digit and I'll have you do the next attack run.
I mean, I can give you the sure in a sec.
Splash in 15.
Okay, let's see if it updated. It did.
Roger.
How do you
Right,
usually know
10
the
digit.
splash?
Because,
10 digit grid. 10 digit.
Splash on target.
so that's what, south of the target? Probably about
Bearing
5,
200
6 meters,
BMP.
10 meters. VDA, Reaper 118, VDS follows, splash south of target 10 meters off, possible mobility kill, target not destroyed. No need for a re-attack run.
Say again.
No need for a re-attack.
Roger, no need.
Alright, so yeah, pretty standard for non-guided munition. Much better for infantry. But the Mark 8, I mean, the 2S25 is, you know, medium armored, so with 2 bombs, probably a mobility kill, particularly with the 84.
It didn't get damage from that close in 84.
Yeah,
Copy. What is wrong with the server?
yeah, definitely. Alright, so next vehicle is where?
Bearing
Knockout.
200.
Bearing 200, yeah, eyes on.
10 digit is 0, 8,
Yep.
1, 3, 4. Break. 1, 1, 3, 2, 4.
Alright, do you want to call it in?
I'm not very confident. Let's just say with 9 lines. I'm just
Well, I mean,
realistic.
the only way you're gonna get more comfortable is to try it. So, okay, let me get off.
Fair.
Let me get off speaker so that you know. Alright, go ahead.
But I'm gonna go quickly and pull up the 9-line shit. Give me a sec.
Yep, no worries. Reaper 18, stand when advised when ready for game plan.
I was
Stand game plan.
There's the reason I went 6, because I have to draw.
Roger, hold one,
Target.
knockout will provide game plan. Alright, all yours. So remember, Reaper's standing ready for game plan, so you just need the 3 initial bits, which are type of control, bomb on
Type
target.
2.
Yep, bomb on target in this case. You could bomb on coordinate is almost never called, so bomb on target, and type of ordnance you want. So he's got 1 times Mark 82 left. He's got hydras.
Unguided.
He's got guided missiles, and he's got a gun.
We can let's do Hellfire on this, because obviously the market just missed as we saw.
Yep. So go ahead.
So I can give him a game plan type to control with bomb on target times 1 Hellfire.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can do that. Was it 81? Yeah, it was 81.
Yep. 81. Tadnet.
Reaper 1881.
Send message.
Advice when ready for game plan.
Send game plan.
Type 2 control, bomb on target, times 1 Hellfire.
Be advised, I do not have any Hellfire munitions. I do have Maverick still.
AGM.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I was wondering. I think it's the Apache and that has the Hellfires.
Oh yeah, Apache has Hellfire.
And then-
What a how copy?
Mavericks.
Good copy, good copy.
Go ahead and tell him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Roger, send 99.
Okay.
Yeah, I was confused there for a second because I'm like,
I pull the 9
think
line
they
so I
have.
can look at it and go through it 1 by 1, because this is the most difficult part.
So make sure you let him know. Hold 1 for 9 line, so that he's not waiting.
Reaper 1881, hold 1 for 9 line preparing.
Roger.
Alright, so first IP Dragoon maybe? Yeah, IP
Yep.
Dragoon. For heading, let me see what heading he'll have from the... From IP Dragoon, it'll be like what? To mirror match mine, about 350? Something like it? I'm talking from my position, not his. I'm reversing for his, that's why.
Yep, that should be something like that.
So something like 34356 heading.
Could be, I think.
Distance
340.
target for me is, let's see, 885. Target elevation 41. Target description 1 times BMP2 if you find a vehicle. I
Yep.
would call it the BMP-23, but it's not that, unfortunately.
Did you say 31 meters above sea level?
41 elevation.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 39, but that's...
Target location at the town 10 that I just gave to you.
Yep. Yep.
Type mark. Oh, alright. This has laser guy Maverick. So I need to give him mostly lasering.
You can, or he can. He's got his own laser
Oh, yeah.
designated
He can
charge.
do it on himself. I can,
Yep.
I would give him laser if I was in the not in the laser detonator. No.
So you should just say use own
Yeah,
laser.
use your own laser. Use own
Yep.
flow. Location friendly is no factor.
Yep. And then egress, whatever.
He can egress since he's doing IP Dragoon. He should egress. What, southeast?
Yep.
No remarks. Alright, I'm ready to give him D9 line.
Alright.
Reaper 1, this is 1881, advice when ready for 9 line.
Send 99.
From IP Dragoon, your heading will be about 340, 350. The distance to the target from 1's position is 885. Target elevation 41, target description BMP2 infantry vehicle. Target location reference 10-digit grid 0813411 As for lays, you will be using your own flare for this. Location friendly is no factor and egress southeast. How copy? Reply for confirmation.
Roger, using 1x and Maverick coming in from IP Dragoon. Enemy target is a BMP in grid 081113. Friendly is no factor, nor marks, no restrictions. Egress is gonna be to the south.
Good copy, Reaper.
So make sure each time, I mean, as you go forward and you start playing, make sure you've got the game plan and the 9-line all ready before you call them up.
Yeah, that's...
No, I know. I mean, this is training, so, I mean, I was the same, right? I was writing it down. But, like, basically on the server, just to make everything really fast, you make sure you've got everything ready and then you call them up.
Yeah. I mean, I have everything ready right now. I'm just, since I don't have it printed as of yet, I need to reference something else.
Yep.
Reaper 1 in.
Go ahead, Reaper.
Study target.
Clear hot.
Target.
In this case, he would say clear to
Clear
the
hot.
edge.
Yeah, clear hot.
Gotcha. Rifle.
So, cool thing. Typically, if you go by the field manual,
Splash on target, Shack 1,
Nice.
BMP.
BMP is disabled. We'll see if it explodes.
So yeah, make sure. There we go.
BMP got its stuff.
BMP2 exploded. Good begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a reminder, I'm not sure which is which. I know that I think at type 1 and type 2 you say cleared hot.
Yep.
And then at type 3
I'm gonna-
technically you would say cleared to engage, but I don't think anyone
Indeed,
cares.
that is it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I either say cleared hot or cleared to engage. That's the official terminology.
Yep, just letting them know.
So as Abel pointed out, if you want to go
Reaper
pure as a
returning
real
to
purist,
CP Alpha.
if you want to go pure purist, type 1 and type 2 controls are cleared hot because you've got visibility, so you can really kind of ensure that what they're engaging is still there and you're happy with it. Type 3 control, you don't have any visibility, so it's up to them to engage targets. You can't clear them hot to anything. In the server, it doesn't really matter. I try and speak to it just because it sounds cool, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's fine. I see. Oh well, at least it went well. The BMP exploded, which, yay.
Yep. Alright, let's find
Real quick,
something
I got a
else.
question about that though. You have the type of control, and then the
Yep.
ordnance, and what's the third thing that's in there in the game plan or before the game plan?
So, in the game
Method of
plan is
engagement.
3 things. Yeah, you start
The
with
MOE,
the type
right.
of control, then the bomb on target or bomb on coordinate,
And then the ordinance you want.
and then you have the
Oh.
ordnance.
Bearing
It
274,
was
approximately
about
1.2 kilometers.
I got that one tallied in.
There it
274.
is. What was it? 124?
274.
You said
Oh, yeah.
before?
Visual.
Okay,
Yep.
I knew it was out here
Oh.
someplace, but I usually use the other bunker,
anyway, right.
so I'm like,
Alright,
trying
Puddle,
to
you want to call this
match
one in?
up where it is.
Yeah, call it.
Yeah, I've already got him. I've got it all written down already. I got him ready to go.
Right, I'm gonna have to go now, unfortunately.
No worries, knock out.
It was a good training. The only thing I believe he missed was the transfer with his actual, because, it exists.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I should have covered that in communication.
I mean, it's a few things because you accept priority missions from him. He has a drone, so he's
0719
you don't really control the drone yourself.
Right,
It's a him thing.
12242. Was that the one you're referencing?
And then his markers are very accurate because
Correct.
he makes them from the drone.
Okay.
From the drone,
When lazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So
12242. Yeah.
It's actual mark, so you can just not have a tank grid, just mark them. It's
So,
accurate
so you said there's bomb on target,
Sounds
and then what was the other one? Bomb on coordinate.
Yeah.
See, right?
Bomb on coordinate is basically you want it on an exact coordinate. There's no target associated with it.
I see. So these are all bomb on BOT. These are all bomb on target.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can call this in here.
Hey, Penguin.
Yup.
Try and get a gun run afterwards on those structures bearing 227. Just having engaged like the bottom of the structures. Because like, unless you can find another Vic, I can't see any right now.
Reaper, this is
Yeah,
1-8,
I
now
haven't
copy.
found any other Vics here, but that doesn't mean they're not there.
That's on 8-0. Send message.
Oh, like those towers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a Type 1 control fire mission for you. Bomb on target, 1 times Maverick.
Roger. As a reminder, you do fire missions on 81 or 82, not on 8-0, but it's fine.
Here, I'll switch over 1 sec, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and switch over.
Yeah, basically you do that because 80 should be kept clear for Stalker and all assets to coordinate or send messages to 81.
Good to know.
So
Okay.
they give you a check-in on 80 and you say switch over to 81?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So
everything does the AO brief happen on 80 or does that wait till 81?
I typically have it on 80.
Okay.
And then have them switch for
Reaper, this is 1-8, advise 1 ready for 9 lines.
Okay.
Send 9-9.
I've got a overhead. Target elevation is 3-8 MSL. It's a heavy armor. Grid location 07196. Break 12242. On your lays. Nearest friendly is 1.2 clicks east. No factor. Egress to your west.
Make sure you say from overhead.
Roger. I've got a enemy armor target in grid 072122. Using 1 times Maverick coming in from IP Overlord. Egress to the west. Friendly's no factor, nor max restrictions.
Okay.
Good copy, Reaper. I forgot the R&R at the end.
That's
But
fine.
thankfully there's none. Yeah.
Yeah. If there ever is any, just get back on and just mention it. Or just say advise when ready for remarks and restrictions. That's fine as well.
Okay.
And remember to say just from overhead, not.
Right. Okay.
So
Hey, for that, the tower over there, what would the desired effect essentially be for the game plan? With the gun?
It's bomb on target again, because you're calling out a target specifically.
Okay, so method attack would be bomb on target, and desired effect would just be...
Desired effect, in this case, I mean, this is just because I can't find another vehicle. The desired effect could be, engage with GAU because there's multiple enemy infantry inside. Desired effect would be neutralization of enemy infantry.
Oh, okay, so
Enemy,
essentially the desired effect is just what what munitions they're using.
Yeah.
Copy.
And you would adapt it based on what you're trying to hit. So 274, right? Yep. So he's from IP Overlord, coming in west to east. So once he checks into IP Overlord within, it's continue.
Reaper 1 in.
Continue, Reaper.
Then tally, and then clear hot.
Reaper 1 tally target.
Reaper, you are cleared hot.
Rifle.
Rifle is the launch of a guided missile, air-to-ground guided missile. Ooh, that's a miss.
Splash on target.
Is it on target? Fuck, I can't see the bloody...
I can't. He's right next to it though.
It's right next to it. Now, so BDA, missile base has
Reaper
missed.
BDA looks like the Maverick missed by a meter.
Confirm, Reaper.
So here,
Miss on target.
so up to you or him if he gives the BDA, depending on who's got eyes and who's first. In this
Okay.
case, you could just get him to do the same attack run, same profile, same target.
Reaper 1 is Winchester on Maverick munitions.
Alright, so just have him switch to a gun run, same attack profile, gun run. So basically you just here. Let me show you.
Alright, okay, go for it, go for it.
Sorry. Reaper 118, re-attack using same attack profile, using GAU gun.
Roger, using guns.
Yeah, so you basically have him come in from the same angle, the same profile,
Right,
same target,
right.
same coordinates, just different munition. And then after that, I'll hand it over to you. I'm going to get the attack.
Yeah.
Do you think that thing's tracks are disabled?
Continue.
Study target.
Cleared hot. Yeah, it's probably disabled from that hit.
Okay, just
So
curious.
how do I put a mark on the map, by the way?
Yeah, if you want, you can put marks on the map.
No, like, I'm asking how, because I'm trying to drop a IP right now.
So once you're on the map, you double click.
Guns, guns, guns.
Got it. Copy, thanks.
No worries. And then you can choose color and what type of mark. Where is he? I can't. Ugh. Straight ahead. Oh yeah, there we go. Did you see that or not? I wasn't looking.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was good effect.
Yeah. Okay. Feel free to call it out then.
Reaper, BDA, good effect on target.
Yeah, so at this point it's probably at least a mobility kill, if not.
Roger, Reaper returning to CPL.
Alright.
So if you want an IP but you don't know the distance and heading, can you just say 233 NA?
You can just say from overhead ingress from IP overlord. From overhead ingress IP overlord, and then move on to the target elevation stuff. It's fine. It's like it's not purist correct, but it's perfectly fine to do that for the server.
Sure.
So essentially I can say IP, whatever my IP is, overhead, and then give them the rest of the 9 line.
Yeah, you can do that. Typically what I do is I don't include it in the line. I just keep it nice and straight in the 9 line, so from overhead and then the rest, and then in my remarks and restrictions, I just have them come in from IP, whichever the name is.
Right.
It's probably not the right way. Actually, that's something I should check with Steve and Marty, but it works for me. So, for now, anyway. So now, if you want, guidance on there.
Rod, he's got just a gun left, right?
Yeah, gun run. In this case, let's have him come in on a what is that? East to west for double cross. Oh, okay, from IP bar. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So northeast to southwest. So it's going to come in over our heads.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. All yours.
What am I? 2-8, yeah.
Yep.
Reaper 1-1. 2-8, checking.
So that was on 80, I think. Double check it.
Yeah.
See if you can raise him on 81.
Oh, I had my fucking buttons. I had the wrong buttons.
All good.
Reaper 1-1. 2-8, ready for game plan.
Second game plan.
Reaper 1-1, 2-8 game plan as follows. Type 2 with a gun run of GAU.
Roger, send 9 line.
Reaper 1-1, 9 line as follows. Would be a overhead location or distance 1 kilometer, elevation 59 MSL. Target description is structure Target location will be 07747 break 11542. Type mark, no mark. Friendlies will be northeast, no factor. Egress will be pilot description. Remarks will be IP foobar for ingress.
Roger, stand by for readback. Reaper readback, gun run coming in from IP foobar. Enemy target is infantry inside buildings at grid 077115. Friendlies no factor, no remarks, no restrictions. Egress gonna be to the north.
Reaper, readback, good.
Alright, so structure is definitely not enough information for them to
Yeah.
use. So, as Abel stated, just say like EI in structures, or just say, yeah, just 2 towers suspected EI, or something like that. What else? From overhead, again. And then don't just go straight to the elevation and the target location. Keep the IP or axis of gun run for the remarks and restrictions at that point. Or just go through the front
Copy.
line.
Copy, copy. So
What
basically
else?
going off and like reading every single thing, like heading, distance.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I still do that just to remember what. So I would go like, target elevation 39 meters above sea level, target description, structure, EI inside structures.
Reaper in.
Continue.
Continue.
Reaper tally target.
Reaper cleared out.
Alright, so he's coming from behind us. Let's try and get eyes on to him.
Guns, guns, guns.
Oh, eyes on. 26. He's engaging.
Reaper 1-1, good BDA.
Yep, perfect. And typically, so once Reaper's done whatever he wanted them to do, if they're not needed for another gun run, just have them push back to a specific place.
Reaper returning to CP Alpha.
In this case, CP Alpha. You can do that, or you can, if it's somebody like Abel and stuff, I know who are very experienced pilots, they'll just do it on their own. But if it's somebody who's relatively new, you can feel free to tell them where to go back to afterwards.
Copy.
What does he have left? So he's got some guns, he's got 2 Fox 2s, he's got Hydras. So let's do a Hydra run.
I got one for the water tower, 279.
Yep. 279. Not wrong direction. Oh yeah, eyes on. Yeah. Feel free to call the Hydra attack run. Yeah, tower, and then the structure that's right behind it. To the west, you see it?
No, wait, barely. In amongst the trees.
Okay, I've got 10 digit, which is 06580124441.
I have 06589er 12446.
Yeah, that's fine. That's probably about the same thing.
That's what I have, nautical.
Alright, all yours. I think I lased just before the structure behind it, not the actual water tower.
Right.
And then we'll do a danger close mission after that.
advise ready for game plan.
Send game plan.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8, type 2, bomb on target, 4 times Hydra unguided, advise ready for 9 line.
Send 9-9.
Overhead, target elevation is 42 meters above sea level. Target grid is 06589. Break 1, 2, 4, 4, 6. Friendlies, no mark. Friendlies are no factor. Egress at your discretion.
Roger, can I get a repeat of ingress and target description?
Yep.
Ingress will be IP double cross. It is 1 water tower in the open.
Roger, 1 water tower in the open at grid 06589er. Shoot, wait, what? Bye.
1, 2, 4, 4, 4, 6. Oh, 4, 6.
Yeah,
Grid.
so 1 water tower in grid 065124 coming in from IP double cross, 4 times unguided hydras, friendly is no factor. Egress is going to be to the north, nor marks.
Confirmed, reback.
Reaper 1 in.
I literally had it.
Reaper 1-8. Continue.
I actually had it written down.
Reaper 1 tally target.
Oh, yeah.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8. Cleared hot.
Reaper 1 ripple 4 times.
Oh, you can.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, they're a bit short. But the first one was right on target.
That's awesome, man.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8. Good effect on target. Push back to CP Alpha for further tasking.
Roger, Reaper returning to CP Alpha.
Alright, I'm gonna. Yeah, yep,
It's like a mind block that's literally I'm going through the 9 line on the left side of the screen. And
Yeah. Yeah. No, it happens to me as well. Like, I remember, when I started out, it was really, like, laborious to kind of go through each thing, and then the more you do it, the better you get, of course. Alright. So, north to south. South to north, IP to green. 4 times Hydra. Right.
Reaper 1881. Advise on Reaper game plan.
Sun game plan.
Reaper game plan as follows. Type 2 control, bomb on target, 4 times Hydra.
Roger. Do you want guided or unguided?
Unguided.
Roger, stand by. Go ahead, stand 9-9.
9 line as follows. From overhead, elevation 38, target location, target description, AI in the open, grid 08188, break 12110. Break. Friendlies no factor, no mark, egress to the southwest, advise when ready for marks and restrictions.
Send marks and restrictions.
Roger, maintain less than Angels 1 altitude ingress from IP Dragoon to the south. Attack runs south-north. I'll copy, read back.
Affirm, I think friendlies are a factor.
My bad, that was the whole point. It is danger close.
Roger.
Sorry.
Danger close, approved by 1-6.
Wait, hold on.
Affirm, fire mission, read back. Enemy infantry in the open in grid. 081, 121, using unguided hydras coming in from IP Dragoon, egress to the south. Remarks, danger close to friendlies.
Confirm, attack run south to north.
Stand by.
So typically with danger close, you'd be also on the short range.
Affirm,
sure.
south to north.
Roger, let me know when you say IP Dragoon, read back.
So you'd just be on the short range ahead of time, confirming they're happy with the danger close, and then you would call it in. This could even be a type 1 control, to be honest, because I'm having him come in at less than 1,000 meters height and also danger close, so I probably should have picked a type 1. If it's see him come in from the south.
Reaper 1 in.
Continue.
What were the R?
Reaper 1 tally target.
I'll have eyes on him.
Reaper 1 tally
Continue.
target.
Clear hot.
Ripple 3 times.
Oh, there he is. Oh yeah, he just appeared.
Reaper 118, good video, good video.
Reaper 1 is Winchester on unguided hydra munitions.
Roger that, Reaper. Once you've made it back to IP Dragoon, ordnance check, please.
Roger, Reaper 1 has 1,100 rounds of guns, break. Gonna have 1 times Mark 82, 7 times guided hydras,
Guided as
and that will be all.
well. Okay.
Good copy, thank you, Reaper.
Currently 50% on fuel.
Alright.
So for that danger close mission right there, what were all the R&R? What was all the R&R there?
So I wanted him to come on a south to north heading to ensure that his gun run, even if he missed shot, it went normally like it didn't hit us basically. We're to the east, right? So
Yeah.
south to north on our west should be fine. It's keeping stuff away from us. If he'd come in from like northeast or southeast, that, if he'd missed shot, that could have landed on our heads. Same thing coming in from the southwest, like we're in that line of approach and fire. So basically I want to keep it as perpendicular to our position as we can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't, right, if there's like terrain limitation or stuff like that, but as much as possible, if it's danger close, I want them coming in from like not over our heads basically, just perpendicular to us.
Okay. And so when do you say danger close? Is that part of the R&R or is that part of the line, the friendly line?
It's typically part of the friendly line, yeah. It's just because I messed up and he called me out on it, which is true, so.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So you would say, yeah, like friendlies, less than 200 meters, danger close. 1-6 is cleared. Fine. This
Okay, cool.
1-6
Okay.
cleared. Do you guys, how about you run a danger close crossroad at 21? Bearing 21? Or 24? That's to our northeast. Who wants to step up? Who hasn't? Penguin, you haven't done it? Alright. Or Puddle. I can't remember which one of you went first.
Oh, I think Puddle went first, but I'm not. Which road are we talking about?
Just the one directly 24, like the first crossroads directly to bearing 24. Like this one.
Oh, like this little intersection right here?
Yeah. Let's see if I can mark it with smoke.
Yeah, I have 230 meters.
Yeah, okay. Just bring it forward a little bit if you want. So like around there. Oh, it bounced a lot. Oh yeah, because it doesn't have the mod. That's why. You know what? I will laze the target for you. But I'll just call it in and I'll laze the target.
Alright, I'll call it in. Alright.
So...
Would that be the elevation here? Hold on 1 sec.
The elevation.
Yeah, I've got 4-1 MSL.
Exactly on the crossroad?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, right on the crossroad.
Yep, same here.
Let me write a couple things down real quick.
Yep.
Reaper 118, hold 1 for tasking.
Say again, last message.
Just hold 1 minute for tasking.
Roger.
So you can tell him I'm lasing it. So Mark is laze. 1-8 laze.
Oh, okay, we're gonna laze it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just about ready.
Alright.
Reaper 1, this is 2-8. How copy?
Send message.
Advise when ready for game plan. Well, I have a type 1 control. Bomb on target. Give me a gun run. Advise when ready for 9 line.
Oh, okay.
Send 9-9.
The attack is from overhead. Elevation 3-8 MSL. Or sorry. Scratch that. Elevation 4-1 MSL. Enemy infantry out in the open. Grid reference 08507 break 12 tree 59. On your tally. Danger close to friendlies 230 meters away to the south. Advise when ready for remarks.
Send remarks.
Actually, I don't have any remarks for him. Do I need to give him any R&R here for this?
If you want to specify a specific attack line.
2-8
west
Reaper,
or east.
send remarks.
Scratch that, Reaper. No R&R.
Roger. Gonna be a gun run on infantry in grid 085-123, coming in from IP double cross, egressing to the north. Friendlies about 200 meters to the south, danger close. No remarks.
Reaper, I have some remarks actually. If I could have you on an attack line to the southeast.
To where?
Roger. Can you specify? Do you want me coming in from IP Dragoon?
Tell him maybe control point alpha, southeast to northwest.
Let's do control point alpha, southeast to northwest.
Essentially, that's more or less 90 degrees from our position, so if he attacks and he fucks up...
Roger,
right, we're still in the clear. I see what you're saying, yeah.
Should be in the clear, yeah.
Reaper 1 in.
Continue, Reaper.
Reaper 1, tally target.
You're cleared hot.
Reaper 1, guns, guns, guns.
It's coming in from the sun, I can't see him. Oh, there we go. perfect example. Like, to be fair, he went all out, but like.
Well, it was
that
it was
spread-
exactly your attack line, which was a good call. So
Yeah, that was like a 300-meter spread, probably at least. So basically, yeah.
Reaper 1 returning to CP Alpha.
Reaper
if that had
2-8
come in-
BDA, good effect on target.
Yep, perfect. If that had come in from the southeast over our heads, we might have been in the attack run.
Yeah, that would have been quite likely.
Yeah, and I didn't think that until
Got
you were.
compensate.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking that
Exactly.
right until you said, "Hey, watch the attack line." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of important." Yeah.
Especially for gun runs, basically. Gun runs and rockets, anything that's unguided, basically.
Right. Okay.
Except maybe the bomb, because the bomb will really come in from above. But anything that's kind of got a big spread, like unguided rockets and guns, is definitely something you want to pay attention to the attack run. Alright, Penguin, let's do a laser guided HG Hydra. Sorry, laser guided Hydras on. Do you have somewhere you want to hit it?
I was thinking like right
There's
in
a
front of us,
tiger
the
out
same
there.
road. Is there a tiger?
Yeah. Q7.
77?
Q7.
7.
Yeah,
Copy. I see him. Yeah,
Q7. Yep.
703 meters.
Oh yeah, I see it. Nice. Alright. I will laser it. So with a tiger, try and laze kind of like the top bit of it again. So with any vehicle, try and laze the top bit without overshooting, obviously, because otherwise it's just going to miss. But alright, I'm lasing it. Reaper 1-8, stand by for additional tasking, hold 1.
Standing by.
Penguin, you got this?
yeah, I was writing everything down.
Oh, okay, sorry. Weird.
So you guided Hydras, right?
Yep. You can specify the number. I think probably 4 is probably enough. Actually, we'll probably RTB him, so tell him just like 7 times the full load. Ah shit, my rangefinder, my laser's not working. Any of you
guess
got
we-
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Okay. I don't understand why.
Here, you want it?
No, you can laser it.
Okay.
So
Nice.
the game plan would just be type 2 bombs on target, 7-time Hydras.
Yep.
Copy.
That's weird. Mine isn't either.
Oh yeah? Maybe there's an issue here. Alright, well then he might have to laser it himself. Unless, Bedwell, do you have a laser on you? Laser designator?
Yeah, let me try it right now.
Or Penguin, does
Mine's
yours
also
work
not
as well?
working.
Yeah.
We all get it from your kit.
Mine's working.
Oh, that's
I
probably
think.
why. If you got it from my kit, that's probably why. That's weird though. I had to change it out earlier, right? Oh yeah, and I grabbed my new kit.
The actual laser's not working on yours? Is that the problem?
Yeah,
actual
you should
laser.
see like a
'Cause
laser
mine
on
works.
the top.
Okay, yeah, mine works.
So yours works? Alright, cool.
So
But
just
I did not
lays-
get mine from your. I do think it is that what you said, Raid, because I didn't get mine from yours.
Yeah, that's weird. Alright, I'll have to go and fix that afterwards. So it just lays like just below the turret.
Yeah,
Below
I'm
the
lasing
turret
the roof of the vehicle.
Yep. Alright.
Reaper 1, this is 2-8. Advise when ready for game plan.
Send game plan.
Group 1 game plan is as follows. It will be Type 2, bombs on target, 7-time Hydras. Advise when ready for 9 line.
Be advised, I am Winchester on unguided Hydras. I only have guided, laser guided Hydras.
Yep.
Copy, it will be laser guided Hydras.
Roger, send 9-9.
9 line will be as follows. It will be an overhead. Your elevation will be +39 MSL. Target description is enemy tiger in the open. Target location will be 08726, break 12793. Type mark will be a laze. Location of friendlies is going to be 700 meters southwest. Egress will be pilot's discretion. Let me know when you're ready for remarks.
Send remarks.
Remarks will be to use IP double cross.
Roger, coming in with 7 times guided Hydras from IP double cross enemy tiger in grid.
The puddle, see if you can laze like
087 127.
Roof.
Egress is going to be to the north.
He's
North
going to be
max
coming in from
nurture.
the northeast, right?
Okay.
From east, northeast, from double cross.
Move back right.
Southwest from the target. So to ensure that the Hydras are able to pick up the laze, you're going to have to hit like the front bit of the vehicle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you tell them your code?
It's quad 4.
Yeah, good call. I didn't tell him, but it should be the default.
Yeah.
Quad 4 or quad 1.
We should try actually. Maybe if Abel's got more time and he can RTB, we can try with a different laser code.
Reaper 1 in.
Continue.
Reaper 1 continue.
Reaper 1 tally target.
Reaper 1 you're cleared hot.
Rifle 7 times.
Are you lasing?
Yep. Yep.
Reaper is now Winchester on guided Hydras.
Fucking good BDA, good hit.
Reaper 1 copies. Stand by for BDA.
I see what you're saying now, because that angle that I even
Reaper
saw
1
them
good
coming in.
BDA.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was at the back end, they might have missed the fucking truck entirely.
They might not pick it up, yeah. Yeah, it's knocked out. I think.
Oh yeah, that team's done for.
Reaper 1 good BDA. Target is destroyed.
Roger, Reaper's gonna go for a triple arm.
Lasers off.
Reaper 1881.
Send message.
Do you have playtime for one more gun run?
Yep. Can do.
Roger, hold that IP double cross.
Roger, IP double cross.
Right, I'm gonna do a massive gun run. Okay, let's try this. That crossroad. Alright, so I'm going to talk him onto it because I want him to not strike a single point, but like 500 meters along a road, so...
Reaper 118, do you have sensors up on 810 yet?
I have sensors, yes.
Right, push sensor to grid, 10-digit grid as follows, 08769, break, 12366. Call tally when you've got eyes on the crossroad.
Gonna need to repeat that digit again.
Roger, digits as follows, 08769. 769er, rate 1236, over.
So that's the
Roger.
That's the one bearing 62.
Call contact when you've got eyes on Crossroad.
So I'm going to want him to engage that as the one bearing 62. I'm going to want him to engage
Reaper 1 has eyes on
east
Crossroad.
to west along the MSR all the way to us.
Roger. I will want you to conduct a gun attack run from that crossroad heading west 500 meters all along the MSR. How copy?
Roger, coming in from IP double cross enemy infantry in grid. 087123 east to west gun run, no remarks to restrictions, families no factor.
Closest friendly is 400 meters west-southwest of initial attack run point.
Roger, 400 meters. Reaper 1 in.
Continue.
Study target.
Clear up.
So normally I would have preferred giving him a full
Guns,
timeline
guns,
on
guns.
that, but since we're just training. Not too bad. I would have liked him to continue, but
Good BDL target, Reap 1.
Roger, Reaper is RT.
Roger that, Reaper. Do you still have time for some playtime afterwards or not?
Yeah, I do.
Roger, perfect.
you guys want to continue a little bit?
Yeah, I got nothing going on. I'll just be right back.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go for a toilet break as well now. You know what? We might switch to... Do I have eyes? Or is that the other direction? Can you see the targets from here? No, we can't. We might switch to target sector Alpha though. I think there's
You
more
share
on
your
that
other
there.
JTAC kit when we're over there then, too?
Yeah, I'll do that. Alright, so Penguin, you still there? No, alright, wait for him. So just head to Alpha, and then if one of you wants to set up the AO and some new ingress points and control point, go ahead and do so. I'm going to take mine off.
Copy.
And I'll see you there in a sec.
I'll go with nautical then.
Alright, yep, go ahead.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, what's up?
That was fun.
Yeah.
This yours working now?
Not sure yet.
Nice. That's weird. I guess I'll make some IPs over here.
Yeah, I was just about to do that. To be honest, I
I
was
just
trying to
threw
figure
one
out the
up.
site. Do what?
I just threw one up just now.
Tank, 700 meters, southwest. $600 meters, due south.
Make sure you double check your the laser on your laser designators. Does it work okay?
Yep. I had to
switch it out
and redo it.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna have to. I think there's an issue with like the space in my kit, I guess, which is messing it up. So. All right, so we've got Shilka. Yep. Shilka 173. BMP.
There's an A, like a AA at 5.5.
5.5.
Right behind the rocks.
Oh yeah. AA truck. Nope, that's a BM21 rocket launcher. Alright, that's all three of you, so you guys drop some HP, IP, yep. So, where's, yeah, got the wrong fucking notes up. Reaper 1, 1H80. Reaper 1, just hold position at HP adder for now. New target sector is target sector Alpha.
I was gonna make a CP Alpha east of the airfield.
Yeah, go for it.
What color do you usually make those?
Yellow.
Okay.
Yellow, I try and keep yellow for anything fixed wing and flight related flight routes. And then just the points, the whole points and battle points for Demon I put in as purple. I think it's civilian. Yeah, civilian. But that's just to differentiate them. You could just have them in the same color if you wanted. Oh, I didn't see Wolf, you dropped a CP down to the south.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. Oh, just now, okay. Yeah, so make sure from the CP you've got some ingress points nearby to like the west and so to its northwest and to the northeast of CP Bravo.
Yeah, I'm putting them more towards the coast.
Yep.
It's probably better than the ones I put on the north because it'll be faster.
Yeah. It's up to you. I mean, it's what it would be. It's 2-3 clicks into the AO. Depends where the target is at. But... Okay, so Wolf, you want to take that BMP to the southwest?
What's the bearing?
228. 229. It's you should be able to see it.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
Like 600 meters. See if you can Well, actually, up to you. No choice of ordnance. I'm gonna push Reaper to CP Bravo actually. Reaper 11881, push to CP Bravo east of airport. I'll copy.
I don't know why, but I just got on the Shakespeare thingy, like Romeo, Juliet. The next one is going to be Hamlet. I don't know why.
Hey, that's perfectly fair. I have my own like code thing as well, so I typically use a lot of like all the Normandy landing beaches, World War II code operations, and also like French cities. So everybody's got their own thing.
Well, what's weird is like I usually would just do the alphabet, you know, but then I'm like,
yeah, I try and like avoid that because typically you then have other things called alpha, so
yeah,
like phase line alpha, and then people can get confused or stuff like that. So. All right, so
where are you pushing them to?
CP Bravo. We can move him around if needed. Just have him hold that IP Juliet or something afterwards. Alright, so Wolf, you grab that BMP. Puddle.
Yep.
Good copy. Oh wait, first. Puddle, come up here and see and prepare strike package on the BM-21 rocket launcher to the northeast. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it's hidden by some rocks from your position.
Yeah, let me climb up there.
Yeah. And then, oops, sorry. And then Penguin, there was something. There was the Shilka. Where was it? It's right there. 174.
I was looking at that rocket truck.
Oh, are you right? Okay. Then Puddle, just grab the Shilka that's bearing 172 from me. 174. Like out crossroad, 600 meters. You see it?
172, and how many meters you said?
630. It's like the first crossroad, like direct south.
Oh, copy. I'm looking right at it. I see it.
Alright. So, let's actually do this in proper order. So, actually this is something I didn't think to cover, but prioritization of threats for JTACs is always air threats. So if there's any kind of, you know, air superiority fighter, or potentially an Su-25 as well, although obviously less nimble, then it goes to any kind of AA threat, whether that's static with his static ZU, or truck-mounted ZU, or Shilka, like the one to the south, or Tungunska as well, which is the other AA on tracks that the Russians use. And then you can go down into kind of tanks, and then BMPs, and then Tigers and stuff. And
is that what I'm looking at with his spotlight on it?
Yep, so that's the radar, that's a ZSU.
Okay,
It's
okay.
got 4 guns at the front, which kind of stick out, which you can barely see.
Yeah, I see it. I see him.
Alright, so we'll do it with, so Puddle, you get a game plan for that. We'll then strike the BMP, and then we'll finish up with the BM-21. Alright?
Sounds good. Can 1x Maverick handle that that ZSU?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
A Maverick can handle pretty much anything. A tank will have maybe like a disability kill, it might not go catastrophic. Anything else will probably go catastrophic.
Okay, good to know.
Reaper 118, hold an additional minute for Tuscan.
What about the kills?
What about what?
What about the kills? I didn't quite hear that.
The kills?
Yeah, the disability or whatever kills.
Oh, disability. The Maverick will probably have a disability kill at least on a tank. It might not have it go full catastrophic. Anything else is almost certainly going to go catastrophic.
Okay.
From a Maverick.
Hey, he's got 2 Mavericks, correct?
He has 4 Mavericks.
Oh, so she has 4 Mavericks, 2 M82s, and a M84, and then 7 unguided hydras and 7 guided hydras.
Yep, 1,350 rounds in the gun and 2 times Fox 2s, which are air-to-air missiles.
Copy.
So, Puddle, once you have the game plan, feel free to get in touch with him. And meanwhile, Wolf and Bangren, if you guys got your game plan as well, we'll try and kind of do them quickly, like one after the other, to kind of simulate taskings one after the other. So just have it ready.
I'm gonna have my guy egress up to HP adder, or should I just have him stick in the AO? How does that work?
Up to you. You can.
If we're gonna do these,
okay. Have him egress to IP Juliet, ingress point Juliet.
Okay. Okay.
And then yeah, we can just.
That actually works out great because that would be where my fire.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was trying. Yeah, that's what I just wanted. I want to coordinate that for you guys. Okay, cool. That works.
Yeah, and mine was going to be IP Romeo for my attack run. So if he's egressing, if he's going in from IP Juliet with Penguin, then he's going to egress towards a Romeo.
Yeah. So whose target are we hitting after the ZSC then?
The BMP. So it's going to be egress to IP Romeo first, and then to IP Juliet after that.
Okay, so I'll have him go to IP Romeo.
Yep. The reason why is priority of threats. So first the AA thing that can shoot it down, then the armored target that can fuck up the platoon, and then the BM-21 multiple rocket launcher. If it was launching stuff already, I might prioritize the BM-21 over the BMP, but it kind of depends.
Should I give him any R&R since this is an AA platform we're taking down?
You can tell him. No, it should be fine. Like, typically you wouldn't have it fly over, but in this case it doesn't really.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there's any R&R you could think of for this particular one.
You should
probably when you give them the target description and you're like Shilka, he'd be like, oh, okay, Shilka.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay. Yeah, he knows what it is. He knows what it can do.
And that's why you would prioritize the Maverick, because the standoff distance on it is the largest out of all the ordnance it's carrying.
Okay, so he can just get close with that and we're good.
Yeah, he can stay like 3 or 4 clicks away, I think. Whereas with the bombs, it's still like 1 to 2.
Okay. Alright, I'm about to send it to him.
Alright, go for it.
Let me make sure I'm on the right channel.
Yep, 81.
Reaper, this is 2-8. Advise when ready for game plan. I've got a Type 1 target, bomb on target, 1 times Maverick. Advise when ready for 9 lines. Heading is from overhead. Elevation is 3-3 MSL. Target is a ZSU on a crossroads. Grid reference 06 tree 21 break. 0654 tree. On your lays. Friendlies are 650 meters to the north at the bunker. Egress to IP Romeo. No remarks and restrictions.
Read back to confirm.
Roger, coming in from IP Romeo with 1000 Maverick. Enemy target is ZSU in grid 063055. Friendlies are about, I think I heard 1 kilometer. No remarks, no restrictions.
Let me get that grid location one more time. Is 06321 break 0654 tree.
Yep, in grid 063054.
This should be the first 3 digits of each 5-digit.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Confirm, Reaper. You're good to go.
His mark is not on a crossroad, though. That's a bit weird.
Ooh, let me pull that up.
Reaper 1 in.
It could just be his wrong mark, though. Continue. Make sure you tell him continue.
Continue, Reaper.
And he's lasing with his own.
Is Reaper, I'm failing to acquire the target. Are you sure you're seeing the right 6-digit?
Yeah. His mark on the map is
10-digit,
wrong.
whatever.
Just push him back to control point.
Reaper, let me have you push back to control point for now. Stand by for new target.
Affirm. The target is in 6-digit grid 063065. So there was something
Confirm.
wrong there.
Confirm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That's it.
Anybody know what happened to the
Reaper 1 in.
laser designator? It just fell out.
Continue, Reaper.
Study target.
Here, let me give you mine.
You're cleared hot, Reaper.
Rifle.
Hey, it's okay. I can give him a Mark 82.
All good. You got it. Oh,
Splash
yeah,
Shack 1 ZSU.
Yep. There we go. Should go catastrophic.
Reaper BDA, good effect on target.
Oh, there's not enough space.
Just take out the Russian. Oh, there we go.
Reaper 118, hold the IP Romeo for now.
Roger, hold IP Romeo.
Yeah, there you go. And now you should be able to pick up the vector and stick it in the backpack as well. And you should be able to interchange between them.
Nice. Alright, man.
Alright, Wolf, all yours on the BMP.
Copy.
Sorry, BMP.
Alright.
No, it is a BMP. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8, advise, ready for game plan.
Second game plan.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8, type 2 control, bomb on target, 2 times Hydra guided, stand by, or advise, ready for 9-line.
799.
From overhead, elevation 2-4, or 3-4, BMP in the open, grid 05707, break 0669er7, marked by Lays, quad 4, bearing to laser to target is 229, friendly is no factor, stand by for remarks and restrictions.
Roger, standing by.
Remarks is ingress from IP Romeo, egress to IP Juliet.
Roger, I'm pretty sure you say ingresses in line standby. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, as I said it, I was like, oh, duh.
Because a lot of you guys have been saying it as remarks, which is fine, but I'm not really used to that. I'm used to hearing it in one of the lines. I think it's line 1 or 2 that you say ingress.
Yeah, it's typically line 1, but then you have to give a bearing and distance from it. So what I typically do, this is Ray speaking, what I typically do is if I'm saying from overhead, I'm not going to give an IP, I'm just going to give a direction, so east or west. But an IP could work as well in remarks and restrictions, at least as far as I can understand it.
Right. Stand by for readback.
I don't think did he mark the proper?
Coming in from IP Romeo using 2 times Hydras on 1 times BMP target in grid. 057066. Egress is going to be to the south. More marks friendly is no factor.
No, egress should not be to the south.
Correction, egress to IP Juliet. Rest of readback is confirmed.
Roger, Reaper does not advise flying right over the enemy target area.
Copy.
You basically never want to do that because then you're just exposing the aircraft and the airframe to manpads. And always think that there's manpads, right? It's like you draw an imaginary line
He's got a fair
of
point.
the enemy area
in this
and
case on
a no man's land and then a friendly area.
Makes sense, but yeah.
And behind an enemy area, you will have manpads. And it's fucking AI, so that means they're cracked and they will shoot you as long as you're within 3 kilometers if they see you. So always have them turn off, never have them fly right over the target.
Yeah, that's me, that's Raid. Reaper 1, it was just in terms of the training server for the next attack run, but yeah, good point.
Reaper 1 in.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8, continue.
Study target.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8.
Dead hot.
Cleared hot.
Rifle 2 times.
You have to remember, like, to be fair, because Abel took a really short approach line. Yeah, nice job. Right here.
Reaper 1, BDA, great hit.
Roger. Another thing is, it's kind of a pet peeve for most Reapers and Demons, is when you're saying the BDA, don't just say good effect, try and include what, what they did and what they destroyed if you can. So like, BDA, good effect on target has been direct hit or shack or destroyed or dismounted or infantry killed.
Copy, will do.
Yeah, see, highlight something new. What do I want to say? Yeah, push him to IP Juliet so that Penguin can bring him another BM21.
Is he not going there already?
No, he pulled back to IP Romeo.
Reaper 1, this is 1-8, push to IP Juliet for further tasking.
Yeah.
Roger, IP Juliet.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just because he made, as he said, basically he's not going to fly over where he just shot. So that's why he pulled back. Alright. Cool. Yep, go for it.
Reaper 1, this is 2-8, advised and ready for game plan.
Same game plan.
Reaper 1, game plan is as follows. It'll be a Type 2 bomb on target. It'll be 2 guided Hydras.
Roger, semi.
Raj. Now that's going to be as follows. It'll be a overhead. Your elevation will be plus 32 MSL. Your target description is going to be a BM21 rocket truck in the open. Your target location will be 06820 break 07568. Your type mark will be friendly laser code. Laser code will be 1112. Location of friendlies will be southwest 700 meters. And your egress will be to CP Bravo.
Roger, standby.
Nice. We'll see if the other laser code works. Make
Reaper coming in from IP Julia. Target is a BM21 truck in grid 068075 using 2 times Hydras on the friendly laser code 1112. Egress to the south to CP Bravo. Friendly is no factor. No marks, no restrictions.
Read back correct.
Is he lasing or are you lasing, Penguin?
We're gonna laser.
Alright.
Reaper 1 in.
Continue.
Reaper 1, tally target.
Reaper 1 cleared hot, blazing.
Rifle 2 times.
Ooh,
Yeah, buddy.
that was catastrophic.
Reaper 1, splash, stand by for media.
That was catastrophic.
I mean, it looks fine to me.
No, it didn't show it because it was so fast respawn.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's catastrophic.
Reaper 1, could be a catastrophic hit.
Roger.
Alright.
JTAC 1, BM21.
I want to blow up some containers, see if that works. Where's he at? Alright. Reaper 1, 1881, advise when ready for game plan.
Sangetan.
Type 2 control bomb on target 1 times Mark 84. Advise when ready for landmine.
Sandanan.
From overhead, elevation 36, target EI inside structures, target grid 05726075151. No mark, friendlies no factor, egress at your discretion.
Stand by for evac. Reaper 1 coming in from IP Romeo. Enemy target is infantry inside structures in grid 057. 071, using 1 times Mark 82, egress going to be to the south. Friendlies no factor, no marks, no restrictions.
Ordnance is 1 times Mark 84, arrest is good.
Roger, Mark 84. Reaper 1 in.
Continue. Checking C-tab, he's coming in from behind left shoulder.
Reaper 1, tally target.
Cleared hot. Can't see him coming up behind. Oh, there we go. In and
the coat.
Weapons release, yeah. You look wearing what? Where's it gone? Oh, you can see the.
Oh, there's a chute.
Yeah, you can see the chute coming down. Yeah, that's looking good.
I see it. Ooh, good hits.
Effect.
Splash on target.
Stand by for immediate. That tower exploded. I'm looking at the containers.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
they blew up.
Yeah, basically everything that's destroyed there.
Reaper 1, 1-8, get effect on target. EI destroyed inside tower and containers.
Roger.
Destroyed inside. Alright.
Returning to CP Bravo.
Copy that.
Reaper is Winchester on Mark 84.
Yeah. Let's try this right here. Okay, so I want him to be to Reaper 1, 1-8, push to IP Juliet and hold.
Roger, IP Juliet.
Actually, you know what? Just drop quick.
Reaper 118, scratch that. Move to CP Bravo, marked on map on the way to IP Juliet.
Roger, CP Bravo.
Roger, let me know once you're set up CP Bravo.
Reaper is at CP Bravo.
Alright, I'm gonna have him do a gun run from like west-south to the east, like all along this road to our north, like just the one next to the bunker right here.
Reaper 118, push sensors to previous grid target. Do you still have it?
Affirm.
Right, call tally. Call contact. Call contact on container set up in kind of compound formation.
Stand by, there's multiple containers here.
Yeah, any container, the wider structure, as long as you've got contact on that.
Stand by.
Alright, I'm gonna walk him on. So from there, we're 500 meters from those containers to the direct west. So once he calls contact on them, I'll have him look 500 meters east of them to our position, and then have him identify the two roads right next to us.
Reaper 1 is eyes on the compound.
Right, confirm compound has 2 times destroyed towers and 1 times destroyed possible water or corn grain tower.
Can confirm.
Right, push sensors 500 meters east of that position, identify bunker structure in the open.
Identifying, I've got a rock formation here with a bunker with friendlies on it, interrogative, is that what I'm looking for?
Yep, good contact call. Identify 2 roads on the northwest side of bunker structure. Call contact.
Affirm, eyes on 2 roads right next to the bunker.
Rudge, call contact on southeastern road, southeasternmost road, going along bunker formation.
Say again, last message.
Call contact on southeasternmost of the 2 roads, going along bunker and rock formation. Going southwest to west to east.
I do not understand what you need me to look for right now.
You're gonna throw a smoke out?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want the road closest to us, right?
Yeah.
Reaper 118, I'm gonna have you do a gun run on this road right next to us, danger close. Road marked by purple smoke. Call contact.
Eyes on purple smoke.
Rudge, from advise we're ready for game plan.
Game plan.
Alright, type 1 control from CP, type 1 control, bombs on target, gunman.
Roger, from CP Bravo. Actually, wait, disregard, 799.
That was, line as follows, from CP Bravo, break.
What's the direction? Bearing.
Bearing, break, fuck.
The opposite of 233.
It's like 060, roughly.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Roughly bearing 060, distance 7 clicks. Break. Target elevation 40 meters above sea level. EI in the open along road, pushing friendlies inside bunker structure. Target grid 06238. Break 07210. Break.
Fuck.
Mark is purple smoke, may be gone by the time you conduct attack run. No friendlies, danger close, within bunker structure. No remarks and restrictions. Call when pushing CP Bravo.
Roger, doing gun run from CP Bravo in grid 062-072. Friendlies, danger close. No remarks, no restrictions.
Good, read back. 1-6 confirms, danger close, go ahead.
Alright, I would strongly suggest getting inside the structure.
I'll do another smoke just in case.
Yeah, and I'm gonna... Technically, I would throw my...
Reaper 1 in.
Continue, advise if you got visual on purple smoke.
Visual on purple smoke.
Continue.
Study target.
Cleared hot.
I was like,
Guns against guns.
Where is he? Oh yeah, I see him now. Oh yeah, it's coming in.
that was pretty.
Reaper 118, good effect on target. 7 times the eye destroyed.
Target.
See what I did there?
Birdie affected.
I've never actually had to pull anything like this in game. But if you do, I would strongly suggest, marking enemy position and then marking your own position with smoke.
Copy.
And you could potentially also have them do like an extra long gun run. So this was 7 clicks, so it's probably enough time for him to acquire visual. For you to make sure that you can see him coming in, I had to push my view distance out to 7 clicks to actually notice 5,500 meters to see him. But that's the kind of thing where you would want to get eyes on both the A10 and friendlies and target.
Yep.
As much as possible. Obviously, if you're getting hit by an HMG or a ZU truck, don't peek out. But yeah.
How do you change view distance and the terrain quality again? I just forgot.
Control
bracket.
/ whatever the vertical bar is, just below the backspace.
Okay.
Work quickly as control bracket.
Oh, okay.
I just found the menu, the distance settings. I didn't know about that, so I'm in there now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there should be a short, if you go in CHV distance, configure controls, and you could be able to, there's also a shortcut with the controls. Right, I need to jump off, which I hope it was useful. Able is still up in the air, so feel free to call more missions on it. There's the BM-21 still up, and I think there's a few other Vics around normally. But also feel free to call it on like structures and rock formations and stuff like that. Alright.
Nice.
If you got any questions, feel free to ping me directly, and hopefully if you guys pass your poems, I will have the pleasure to play with you.
Yeah, thanks for the time, man.
Did you share your other kit too?
No, I'll go share it down there if you want. Alright, see you guys.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks again, yeah. Nice, well that was cool.
Reaper 1, this is a raid on 81. I'm signing up for the night. There's 3 other JTACs are still around, so just stay up if you can.
You're gonna hop out soon as well, I think.
Roger that.
Ugh, going down is way more dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, just like that, dude! Oh my god! How? Oh, I definitely have broken legs.
Oh, you got a broken leg, buddy. Oh, damn. I don't feel that one.
I'm gonna sign off though, I think, as well.
And then somebody like goes down.
No, right when you said it. I don't know.
Oh, he respawned. Damn it.
It's only because you said something, right?
Yeah, that's a classic.
I'm surprised I'm even alive. That was far. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna sign off too, though.
Yeah. Good seeing you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks again, Raid.
You're gonna be at the scene tonight?
Yeah.
Or the platoon training?
Yeah. That one is 10 in the morning. Yeah, tonight for you guys, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 a.m. So if you can like try and record that or something, that'd be awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm streaming this one right now. I think I've recorded all of them.
Okay, cool.
I'll stream it and I'll send it to you. I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be sure to. I'll DM it to you.
Oh no, that means our comically stupid mining operation was
Yeah,
there for the world.
I think I think I edited a couple of them because they were long. They've all been long, so I don't know how much of that made it in there. I gotta check that one. But
well, we were apparently the AP mines in this server were drastically different from the ones in the actual server.
Is
So
Reaper 1, I'm going to be
like,
signing off here. Good training,
so
boys.
he blew up like once or twice, and I'm like, okay, let me do it.
Around those
Not
1.8s in the future.
even close to it. Here, click. I'm like,
yeah, it was nuts.
Thank you very much, Abel. Have a good evening.
Yep, thanks Abel. Thanks for the flying.
Yeah, thank you, man. That was awesome. Great, great feedback too.
See y'all around.
Okay, so this is my second kit. Is it? Oh.
that was still. I still laugh at that though.
It was cool because it was like first I try it, and then we were like, okay, now let's, because you know where you put them, so it was like you were like, all right, I'm gonna see what the fuck's going on here. I'm gonna crawl up to this shit and then click. It was funny.
What I love is there's a little delay, so you're like, you have now had this time to reflect on your life choices.
Yeah, yeah.
How did I get here? Why did I do this?
It's cool too because I don't think a lot of people even know. I didn't. I can speak for myself. I didn't know about that demining factor at all. I didn't even know that goes on in the server. So
a lot of the time we don't get to do it because there's not enough ogres on, or there's just it's so hectic at the front.
Yeah.
But once we have a full ogre team, like I will quite often send out one of the engineers and the medic. You're like, okay, you're gonna do some demining, buddy.
It's good fun.
Always send the freaking medic because shit will happen.
shit will happen. Yeah, as we found out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right,
I've,
boys.
Updated my kit a little bit, both in the public ones. So I made sure that the laser designator should be working in both. Take this one. Fuck, where's my mouse gone? Nope, the second one doesn't work.
Nope, does not work.
Yep. Alright, let me just... Whoop.
We should be able to just save it and then go in and switch them out and then save it again. And it
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. There we go. Check it works.
Yep, works.
Alright, let me save this one. I'm going to keep the laser designator in the binocular slot, so that should hopefully help out as well. Alright, that's my second one. I took out the thermal imager in the second one just because it takes up more space than it's really needed. So. Alright, see you guys.
Later.
It was good fun.
Thank you, sir.
No worries. Maybe see you at the next training tomorrow if you guys are around.
I may not make it. It's like I said, it's like 3 in the morning. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely focus CET. That was just because a lot of the people based in Europe usually miss the trainings that are US based, so that's why I put it that time. No worries though. See you around.
Yeah.
Alright, boys. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, have a good
We'll see you, man.
Good day,
Good
man.
work today, man. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I had to
Learned
see,
a lot, man.
Yeah, definitely got to see if I get the perms and eventually start doing this on the server.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I put mine in. And I put my 1.6 in like the last week or two of the campaign, and then I put my 1.8 and 6.6 and right as it ended. So, I think the admins are in break though, so that's part of it.
Yeah. Is it just like a test you do? I haven't done any perm tests.
Yeah, it's just a test. It's like a Google form.
Oh, gotcha.
don't do what I did and automatically put 50-meter spread on the last question. Because I'm getting that is so ingrained in my mind for Savage, for the Savage Fire mission, that I didn't even think about it and put it in there. But with that target, you don't need it. In fact, it's worse.
Where exactly do you find things to study for these fucking perm tests?
Go to the SOPS page on the Karma Liberation server or Karma Liberation site. And,
there's videos and stuff,
yeah.
but
gotcha.
But there's not like a rule book per se that has
the
absolutely everything.
SOPs,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because
you know.
yeah, because I got a whole fucking flying setup, and I generally try to do a lot of flying, but I don't have any flying perms, so.
Yeah, just get used to them in the server here. You can fly them anytime, and then you will need to put in a video for it. For each of them, like Stalker, Demon, Reaper, and Chevy, you have to do a separate video, I think. Or maybe it is.
I
the
don't
same
even know how to
video or
record,
something,
but okay.
Yeah. I think they want you.
I think you can stream right.
Something.
Yeah, you can. There's multiple ways to do that, but this is a good qualification to take as a pilot, because you're going to be working with JTAC a lot if you're flying and shit.
What makes me mad though is that there's the Blackhawk or the Payhawk, whatever. The HUD is so freaking small; it's absolutely useless to me.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, I don't even know how fully sighted people see it. I mean, because I'm legally blind, and it's just dots.
Are you talking about the helmet display?
Yeah, the heads-up display on the.
I've never got it to work for any of them. Yeah.
You gotta go down to mission settings, then HUD, then I do metric, because that's what everybody uses, and then it should turn on.
Yeah, you're like ace interacting with the module in the cockpit.
No, it's with your F key. You look down.
Okay.
If you're the pilot, you look down to your left. If you're the co-pilot, you look down to your right. There'll be a display.
I need to mess with it because I was trying to get it to work and I couldn't. And I was kind of.
Yeah, I can never find it.
Yeah, it's there. It's just.
It's on the left. Well, it depends what seat you're in, I guess.
Get a track IR too.
Oh, I have track IR. It's fantastic. I play a lot of DCS, so.
Yeah. If I could only figure out how to make that HUD actually useful, or something I could actually fly, but all I can do is a little bird right now.
Dude, I can't fly shit.
Stalker firms.
I've been fucking around with the Blackhawks and the Payhawks, just not like the Cobra or anything like fixed wing.
Yeah.
Because for some reason the planes don't like my my throttle, so if I try to push it all the way up, it only goes 100, and if I try to pull it down, it goes straight to 0.
Yeah.
I would watch. There's a couple of really good flying videos in that resources tab.
Okay.
I forget the guy who gave it. I can't remember his name. He's another English guy. He's got a really good. It's like a 2-hour long training thing.
Yeah,
he goes through his controls and how he sets up his keybinds to certain things. I think he talks about that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because that's been a pain in the ass. Because with the helicopters, it works no problem. Like it's fine. With the planes though, it's just all throttle or no throttle. That's on the website, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. Alright, I gotta go cook dinner before my wife gets on to me.
Have a good night, man.
Yep, see you around, man. Boom. Ragdoll.
If only that, when we were first going to the first bunker, Raids was like epic. It was like flying in midair. Boom. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. And if only they would make that HUD bigger, I could actually use it. But the problem is that all the displays are so far away too that it's hard for me to see.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that is preventing me from doing Stalker right now.
Well, I'm glad I went to Marty's. I'm glad I went to Marty's training and this one because they're both like about the same thing but slightly different.
Takes on it.
Yeah, I will say Marty's was fucking fast paced and you kind of had to. There was a lot of like terminology too.
Yeah.
I was pissed because I just kept DCing, dude. I don't know if you. That was bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, all right, man. I'm gonna stream that one for sure. I'm almost positive I'm gonna be to that. I'll make it to that one. So I'll DM it. I'll DM it to you.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Catch you around.